Hello. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, everybody. Let's get condensation up and running. Which I'm frankly certain none of you know what condensation is, but that is okay. That is okay. I'm going to need the stream link. Connect stream. Start live event. There we go. Do I get points if I can explain condensation? No, I'm not talking. Oh, hold on. I got to adjust the gain on the microphone. It's all fucked up. Filters. Gain. How's this? Alrighty. A little bit more. Alrighty then. That'll do. That will do. Condensation is I guess a stream manager that Uvi made. If you guys know Uvi, that's my manager. But let me make sure there's nothing on this that I shouldn't be sharing. It's essentially just like a stream operator. You know, he created this entire thing. It's a way to manage like who the top chatters are, total messages. He made this entire fucking thing. It's kind of crazy. But it's cool. That's honestly sick as fuck. Yeah, no, it's actually relatively unbelievable that he created this himself. Let's see, like it'll do real-time dashboard, top chatters. Here, look. Here's the top chatters, guys. Right here. See that? It's cool. Top words, top phrases. Isn't that fucking awesome? Isn't that kind of fucking crazy that he made this? He just created it. He just created it. And what it's used for is like tracking analytics, and then you can, you know, this is like data that you can package and like pitch it to like, you know, advertisers or whatever you want, right? You could be like, hey, I have this many chatters. These are my top chatters. This is the top trending word, so it'll help if you know what I'm saying? It's pretty cool. Everything's computer. By the way, did any of you guys get the notification that I went live? How did the notification work today? Did you guys get notified? I want to know, can you show me? I want to know about these people like me. No notification. All right, well, that's okay. My Uvi is going to reach out to some people on at YouTube. I know you guys hear that. That's Beans scraping in his shit box. But Uvi is going to reach out to YouTube and try and figure out what the problem is there. It most likely is not that I'm flagged. It's most likely an internal error at YouTube. I want to know. Can you show me? I want to know about these people like me. Yeah. Anyway, we got a little bit to cover today, folks. We're going to be covering this fucking insane interview that Trump did with President Ramaphosa of South Africa, where Trump is like, all right, let me start recording. Let me just start recording, all right? Hi, how are you? Welcome to the Valenti Videos broadcast. That's not the name of it. This is the Valenti... Let me end that recording. God, I'm stupid. You guys are in the Valenti Videos broadcast. This is the Valenti VOD. Okay. What is up, ladies, gentlemen, and NBs? Welcome to the Valenti VOD. I'm your perfect and humble leader, Chris Valenti. And today we're going to be watching this disastrous interview that Trump did with President Ramaphosa of South Africa. And I do mean, like, I know I say this all the time that, like, oh, this is the worst interview Trump has done. But it's always yet, because it keeps getting fucking worse. And Trump in this fucking interview, he's pulling out, like, stacks of paper, and he's like, well, here we have pictures of mass graves for the white genocide in South Africa. And Ramaphosa's like, hey, where is that? Because that's not real. This is the most ludicrous interview that he's ever done. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It costs you nothing, and it helps me immensely. If you do want to support the channel financially, there's a couple of ways you could do it. You can become a patron on Patreon for $5. You could become a member on YouTube for $5. You could buy some Valenti Videos merch right down below, and you can use a 40% off discount code for Ground News right down below. This is real independent media. I got no fucking funding. So help a brother out. Anyway, let's... First, what I'm going to do is show you this highlight clip. It's like 2 minutes long, and then we're going to watch the entire fucking interview together, because that's what we do. I'm going to hold your hand, and we're going to watch it together. But here's the first things first, because BBC covered this. Some of this shit is so unhinged, all right? You ready? You ready?
I don't know where he got my number, but I picked up. He said, I want to come over and see you.
Why can't I go full screen?
About golf, he said I should start practicing.
I don't know where he got my number, but I picked up. He said, I want to come over and see you.
We spoke about golf. You said I should start practicing. And I've started practicing, President. So I'm ready.
Thank you very much for being here.
You're most welcome. Well, I can answer that for President. It's for him. No, seriously.
I'd rather have him answer.
Yeah, I'd rather answer that.
Excuse me, turn the lights down. Turn the lights down.
Get those lights
Put
off!
on. It's right behind you. Johan.
There's nothing this parliament can do. With or without you, people are going to occupy land. We require no permission from you, from the president, from no one. We don't care. We can do whatever you want to do.
Death. 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 Horrible death.
What? Death. Dude, what is this? Is that the Daily Mail or the New York Post? What the fuck is that?
Death. You're taking people's land away
We have not.
from them.
We have,
And those people in many cases are being executed. They're being executed. And they happen to be white, and most of them happen to be farmers. And that's a tough situation. I don't know how you explain that.
our government policy is completely against what he was saying, even in the parliament.
But you do allow them to take land.
No. People who do get killed, unfortunately, through criminal activity, are not only white people. Majority of them are black people. And we have now
The
been
farmers are
utilized.
black. The farmers are not black.
No,
Those
you're-
are all deaths.
Yeah.
No, you're saying something that I'm not saying, which means you're lying.
In many ways, I mean, one should say you are a partner of South Africa, and you are raising concerns, and these are concerns that we are willing to talk to you about.
Bro, we literally have a toddler for the president, and they understand that. Like, Ramaphosa knows that he's talking to, like, a baby-brained idiot, so that's why he's talking to him like that. But listen, let's watch this entire interview. The Associated Press has this. Let's watch it.
Thank you very much, everyone. It's a great honor to be with the President of South Africa. President Ramaphosa, and he is a man who is certainly in some circles really respected, other circles a little bit less respected, like all of us, in all fairness, like all of us.
We all like that.
We also have a few of my friends. Ernie Els, a great golfer. He's a truly great golfer.
Chatter says, hey, Valenti, I'm a white South African. We had 47 farmers murdered last year. If you Google the amount of farms we have, it's 40,000. And look at our annual murder rate. I can't see that there's any genocide. Of course there's no genocide. There is no genocide in South Africa. There is a genocide going on in Gaza. There is a genocide going on in China. There's plenty of fucking genocides. This is not one of them. And the thing is, you're going to watch this interview, you're going to see, look at his fucking face. You're going to see the Fuhrer repeatedly bring up the fact that, hey, they're white, they're white, they're white. This has nothing to do with genocide and everything to do with racism.
Tief Goosen, who's another really, we call him really a great golfer too, Ernie, right? You two guys are fantastic. And we could add Gary to the group, Gary Player. What a group of golfers South Africa's had.
Yo, don't forget that Trump has spent like somewhere between $200 and $300 million of U.S. taxpayer dollars on his golf, on him playing golf. Okay, never forget that.
Yes, yes.
There must be something in the water, right? It's something good. These two guys are unbelievable.
It's the water set.
Yeah, Gary's Gary. And David Frost, also another one that I know is such a great one.
Indeed.
Was he as good a putter as they say, David? He's a putter. He's a putting machine, right?
Absolutely.
But he's another one. So something very good about South Africa.
You know, if you focus real hard, you can almost see him bald. Like you could picture it, right? Because obviously this is a hairpiece, but I would just pay to see that thing not be there. I want to see what his bald head looks like so badly, dude.
Golf is still doing great in South Africa, and they have young players I hear coming up that are going to be very good. But it's an honor to have you here, and my friend, it's an honor to have you, one of the greatest businessmen in South Africa and long beyond. Thank you for being here. It's a very, very great honor. Appreciate it. So we're going to be discussing certain things. As you know, we have the G20 is going to South Africa. When is that going to be?
In November.
In November.
And thereafter, I hand over to you. And
yes, we have it next.
You originated the G20, so I'll hand over the baton to you, and then you lead the G20
We're
in the
going to have
world.
it. We're going to have.
He's gentle parenting him. I actually think this is a roast session. I think Ramaphosa was like, yo, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to treat this guy like a fourth grader. And he's too stupid to realize that I'm going to be patronizing him. And the whole world is going to be like, holy ever-loving fuck. The president of South Africa is gentle parenting Donald Trump in the fucking Oval Office about the fact that there isn't actually a white genocide. Holy ever-loving fuck.
The following year.
Yeah.
So we'll be discussing many things, and some of the things you've been reading about in the papers and the media. And I would say that, look, the president is a truly respected man in many, many circles, and in some circles he's considered a little controversial. But we're going to be discussing some of the things that are taking place in South Africa and see if we can help. And we want to help. And we've had a long relationship with South Africa. I have, because indirectly I have so many friends that live there. I have a lot of friends. I mean, these are famous guys, but I have a lot of...
I know. We all know, Trump, you've got a lot of friends in South Africa. You've got a lot of white Afrikaner friends who were raised during the apartheid, and they love you. And they also all happen to be billionaire technocrat troligarchs like Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, Mark Andreessen, fucking all the entire neo-reactionary movement. Those are your buddies. We're well aware.
Friends.
Chris, did you see that the pictures he holds up are from the Congo? I did not know that, but when he holds up the pictures, we're gonna see, because we're watching this entire interview. It's an hour and 4 minutes long, so you guys better go get yourself a snack and a drink.
They're that are tremendous people, and we'll be discussing that. We'll have a nice conversation, and I really appreciate that you guys came along. It really helps us in our thought process. But it is a great honor to have you, and I appreciate you called. He called. I don't know where he got my number, but I picked up. He said, I want to come over and see you. And that was my honor, and thank you very much for being here.
You're most welcome.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much for
Chris, are you denying the genocide?
this.
The white genocide in South Africa? Yes, I'm denying that. That doesn't exist. That's not fucking real. You know who else denies it? The fucking president of South Africa.
Formed White House. I've been here before, and it looks really fantastic. I must congratulate you.
Thank you.
But I also thank you for allowing our delegation. This is a very mixed delegation that you've got. We've got people from government, my ministers. I've got someone from the trade union movement who we really collaborate with, and from business as well, and our sporting legends. When I spoke to you, you said, yes, come along and bring Gary Player, bring any else, and Retief Goosen. I brought the two of them. Gary Player, I spoke to him, and he said, look, I'm getting rather on in my years, but wishes us luck in this discussion with you. So it's a real joy, and I'd also like to thank you for allowing your people to start discussions with us at the trade level. I mean, we are essentially here to reset the relationship between the United States and South Africa. We are long-standing partners in many, many ways. We've collaborated in many fields, in space issues, in energy, and in trade, and we therefore need to reset that, particularly in the light of some of the announcements that you made on trade and investment. So we want to advance more trade between the two of us, two countries, and our people now have been empowered by yourself and by myself to start engaging, and we hope that we will be able to fuel that engagement during our talks. And we also want to discuss issues that have to do with how we promote further investments in both countries. We've got about 22 companies from South Africa that have invested in the US. That's creating a number of jobs. And similarly, you've got almost 600 companies that have invested in South Africa, and some of them have been in South Africa for more than 100 years.
You can't say that to Trump, because Trump views any sort of trade deficit as a bad thing. You say that South Africa has 22 companies in the United States and that the United States has 600 companies over in South Africa. He thinks that's a bad thing. He's like, well, that can't be good. That means that you guys are getting more profit from American companies. That's not how this works, okay? There are nations like South Africa that don't trade many items with us. They don't trade a litany of different things, but they trade a shitload of a select few things. And this is the same thing with a lot of African countries. Like if there's a poor African nation that sends diamonds to the United States, of course they're going to be buying more stuff from us. But that's not a bad trade deal. You know what I'm saying? We're still benefiting from the diamond trade. It's like talking to a fucking child.
So our links are really long-lasting, and we would like to recalibrate those
Trump
relations.
never wants to be in these meetings. He's so unprofessional. He always hits the shrimp position every time, staring at his shoes. He's rocking back and forth. It's literally like when you take a young kid to church that doesn't want to go to church, and you make him dress up in a suit and shit. You know what I mean? That's the energy that Trump gives when he's doing these fucking presidential meetings.
Between our two countries, and discuss a whole range of issues, geopolitical, the work that you're doing.
I also want to point out one thing. I don't find it coincidental that our like dedicated hate watchers, Julian and Koofs, all showed up at the exact same time. I feel like either they have some sort of Discord, like a Valenti Videos hate channel Discord, or they may be running this same account. This may be like one person on multiple accounts.
Around the world, in Ukraine and in the Middle East. So we value that, and we are also a great contributor to peace processes that are going on around the world. And of course, we want to discuss how we can support each other. You are a much bigger economy than we are. We're just a tiny economy, but we rely on each other on a number of issues. We've got critical minerals that you want to fuel the growth of your own economy and reindustrialize. So we have that on offer, including rare earth minerals. So all that combination of opportunity and the products that we buy from you, as well as
thank you for the $2 donation, Samantha. Gotta go into work. I missed the live. Have a good one.
Really
enjoy work.
Good and powerful relationship, which we need to strengthen, which we need to engender, and that is really what has brought us here. And we are really privileged to have, you know, great South Africans in the mix. As you said, you'd like to see them as well. And I brought you a really fantastic golf.
Chatter goes, Trump dominating other world
book.
leaders. Love it. Trump hasn't said a fucking word in about 4 minutes. He's just been sitting there listening.
Weighs 14 kilograms.
Oh, that sounds good.
And it showcases the golf courses in our country.
There's no shot Trump knows how heavy 14 kilograms is. And you want to know why? Because I don't fucking know. What the fuck is a kilogram?
Johann Rupert wrote preface, so did Annie else. And I want to showcase our golf courses. You might remember when I spoke to you and we spoke about golf, you said I should start practicing. And I've started practicing, President, so I'm ready. But let me end just the introduction.
You want to know why you got to be good at golf as a world leader? It's because that's where the under the book talks happen, right? There's this talk in front of the cameras and whatnot, but if you want to have a real talk with the president, you go play a fucking 18 rounds with him. You know, and that whole time you're going to be discussing shit that he is not willing to say on camera, and that's where the fucking deals are made. Is it corrupt as fuck? Yeah. Is it unique to Trump? Absolutely not. And this doesn't even have anything to do with politics. This is just what rich people do. Honestly, it doesn't even have to do with race. It's not like just rich white people play golf. It's just rich people go play a round of 18, they drink, and they talk business. That's the whole point of golf.
By thanking you, you may not recall that 5 years ago I spoke to you during the COVID period.
Right.
And it was at a time when the whole world was going through a really cathartic moment. Right. And we asked for assistance. And
I'm not a communist. I don't know how many times we have to cover this. I'm not a communist. I'm a democratic socialist. They are not the same thing.
You were able to assist us with respirators, and you kept to your word, and you delivered respirators to us. We didn't have as many in our country, and it really helped to help us deal with COVID. So I'm here also to say thank you and to thank the people of America for having helped us during a really difficult time. Being the small economy that we are, we needed help from around the world. And you were there to provide that. So thank you very much.
I remember the call.
Yeah.
We sent 150 respirators. We became the respirator king.
You sent 150 respirators? Please tell me you meant 150,000, because that's not a lot.
Started making them. Nobody had them. We had very few of them.
That's right.
But they were very helpful. But we sent 150, and I appreciated the letter. You wrote me a letter.
That's right. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Chatter says even worse social interests come back. We need the old you, brother. If you fucking saw the shit that I used to post on Facebook during like 2015, like when Trump was running for president, when I was back in high school, I think. Was it 2015? I don't fucking remember, but yeah, no, dude, I've been a Trump hater since day one, back when I was like, 17 or 18 years old. This is also real quick, something I want to cover, guys. New Yorkers have hated Trump since the fucking 70s. Everybody in New York has hated Trump. We all knew that he was a fucking scammer. My dad was a businessman. Everybody knew that you don't want to do business with Donald Trump, but you do want stupid people to think you do business with Donald Trump because he's got this phony reputation. You know, you didn't do deals with him. You got pictures with him, but no, Donald Trump is a fucking idiot.
But it really touched my heart after I spoke to you and you delivered. So,
great honor.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Any questions, please?
Mr. President, we welcome white Afrikaner refugees here. Can you explain to Americans why it's appropriate to welcome white Afrikaners here when other refugees like Afghans, Venezuelans, Haitians have all had their protected status revoked.
Hell yeah. I'm glad he said that too, because I want to point out one thing real quick. We covered this in a recent video. 9,000 Afghan refugees have had their temporary protective status removed, right? And if you remember the terrible withdrawal from Afghanistan, the Taliban took over, we welcomed 9,000 refugees from Afghanistan. Trump has just revoked their temporary protective status, and they all have to leave by like May, what is it? I don't even know. It's in like a month or some shit. But here's the kicker. They said they're allowing the Christians to stay. So this what the fuck are we talking about? So, and again, 360 million people in the United States, 9,000 refugees. That's not even a drop in the bucket. You can't even call that a drop in the bucket. It has everything to do with, you know, theocratic fascism and nothing to do with immigration status. It's the most obscene thing I've ever heard.
Well, this is a group, NBC, that is truly fake news. They ask a lot of questions in a very pointed way. They're not.
Wait.
Well, this is a group, NBC, that is truly fake news. They ask a lot of questions in a very pointed way. They're not questions, they're statements. We've had tremendous complaints about Africa, about other countries too, from people. They say there's a lot of bad things going on in Africa, and that's what we're going to be discussing today.
Yeah, there's some terrible things going on in Africa, like in the fucking Congo, bro.
When you say we don't take others, all you have to do is take a look at the southern border. We let 21 million people come through our border, totally unchecked, totally unvetted. They came from all over the world. In many cases, they're criminals. They come from prisons. They come from mental institutions.
They're gang members. They're rapists. They're murderers.
They come from street gangs. They're drug dealers. So don't say that we didn't take them. We take them. We're trying to get them out as fast as we can. And we're doing record business on that. And we just won a big case where we're allowed to send back hundreds of criminals to Venezuela. Just won that today in the Supreme Court.
Yeah, that's what they're talking about, bro. You revoked temporary protective status of some Venezuelans that you yourself gave. The Trump regime, the first Trump regime, gave the Venezuelans temporary protective status because we had a failed coup d'etat. The CIA failed a coup d'etat in Venezuela, which led to the rise of fascism. This is... What the fuck are we talking about? This is your fault.
To hear, but we do have a lot of people are very concerned with regard to South Africa, and that's really the purpose of the meeting, and we'll see how that turns out. But we have many people.
Goose just said the CIA does nothing like that. Best comment of the fucking year. You're right. The CIA does not do coup d'etats in Latin America. Chat, real quick, do yourself a favor and Google a list of CIA coup d'etats in Latin America. It's fucking asinine. It is longer than the Bible.
Feel they're being persecuted and they're coming to the United States. So we take from many locations if we feel there's persecution or genocide going on.
Oh yeah?
And
if you feel there's genocide going on, we take them? Okay, I think, so what? Let's start welcoming in the Palestinians, let's start welcoming in the Uyghurs, let's start welcoming all the people who are going through genocide. Or wait, no. Are you talking about the white Afrikaners in South Africa?
We had a lot of people. I must tell you, Mr. President, we have had a tremendous number of people, especially since they've seen this. Generally, they're white farmers, and they're fleeing South Africa, and it's it's a very sad thing to see. But I hope we can have an explanation of that, because I know you don't want that. It's a kind of a different meeting. Normally we have meetings, we talk about trade, and we'll be talking about trade and other things. But that certainly will be a subject that comes up. Yeah. Yes, please. Brian?
Thank you very much. I'd like to get your thoughts on Letitia James, Director Polte, according
$10 donation, legitimate question. When martial law is declared, how can we help from Canada? My friends have been discussing. Oh, dude, I don't fucking know. And if you're insane if you think I can even answer that question. Are you out of your mind?
to him. Letitia James says that the alleged mortgage fraud was simply a mistake. I want to get your thoughts on that. She put down that her father was her husband in order, and this is very similar to, I guess, the false accounts they have on here.
Well, I don't know.
Genocide in Gaza was funded by the Biden administration, but of course Chris isn't calling that out. No, absolutely. Joe Biden is an ideological Zionist who quite literally funded a fucking genocide. That's Genocide Joe you're talking about, dog. Do you think I'm a Joe Biden supporter or a Kamala Harris supporter? This is what I mean about, like, the average MAGA brainworm-ridden chud. They are so embedded in the cult and incapable of criticizing their leader that they assume that all quote-unquote liberals, which I'm not even a fucking liberal, that everybody on the left is the same way. That's not how critical thinking works. That's not how logic works, okay? Regardless, we're going on a tangent.
Currently, but Letitia James, who's the Attorney General of New York State, it seemed, I'm not involved in that at all. I know it's being handled by various groups, I guess, but it's major fraud.
Welcome, Dum 3K.
Mortgage documents and fraudulent everything. I think she said the father was her husband.
Talking about Letitia James, Democrat politician that is being charged with, like, mortgage fraud. It's just another way of them trying to throw Democrat politicians in jail. Don't forget that they're also charging LaMonica McIver, another Democrat congresswoman, with assault for being shoved into an ICE officer. If you want to see coverage on that, we have another video on that.
She had to have a husband, so she chose her father, and she put it down, and she had didn't she sign in Virginia, yet she said she lived in Virginia, yet she's the New York State Attorney General.
$10 donation, obligatory money laundering. Thank you,
so she could take
Mrs.
advantage of taxes. And she had the wrong number of units. She had a much different number, which wouldn't have allowed her to qualify and
brother,
scam the
you have the
government.
president of South Africa sitting next to you. Why the fuck are you like, listen, if there's ever been a time for you to be like, I really don't care about talking about that right now, it would be now. And you do that all the fucking time. You disregard questions.
And so, I don't know. I think she's very bad for New York, but I really don't know too much about it, but I appreciate the question. Thank you very much. Yes.
Mr. President, for you to be convinced that there's no genocide.
Please.
Thank you, Mr. President. So May 25th will be the celebration of Africa Day, which pretty much a lot of celebration will be taking place around the world, including here in the United States. What is your message to the entire African continent, African people in this important occasion?
My message is MAGA, make Africa great again.
Well, I want to see peace, and I want to see happiness. I want to see health, and you have incredible land. There's tremendous value. A lot of countries don't have that value in the land, the value you have. We have a situation, I think you probably heard about it. We've done, through some very talented people, helped settle a war that's been raging for years. Rwanda and the
June Perez says no tax on tips, overtime, and Social Security. What else do socialists want? Oh, I would love for that to pass. And yeah, it got 100% approval from the Senate. Still has to pass from the House. And that's called the No Tax on Tips Act. That's not the one big beautiful bill. But regardless, that's not your fault. You don't read.
And I think we've done it. Believe it or not, I think we've done it. And could you just say a few words about that, my friend?
Yes. A couple of weeks ago, the two parties signed a declaration of principle in which they agreed on the way forward. And they have both submitted draft peace agreements. And we have put together one that incorporates both of their suggestions, and we've given it to them. So we're in the process of finalizing
Looking
this.
good, right?
Looking very good.
No, we have to thank you for even those efforts, because the African continent, particularly SADC, our Southern African Development Community, has for years been seeking to foster peace in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. So all efforts, including those from outside the continent and inside the continent.
I'm convinced Trump doesn't understand the difference between a continent and a country. When Trump hears this is the president of South Africa, I'm firmly convinced that he's thinking of like Africa, the continent, and there's a line right through the middle, and that this guy's in charge of the entire southern half of Africa. And I don't think he knows that we're talking about an amalgamation of different nations, and that the Congo is one area and that South Africa is another place. Like, I don't think he knows what the fuck is going on.
Really worthwhile. We are removing our troops from there so that peace can then prevail in that whole area. And we hope that with the support of the international community, we will really have peace in that area is so vital, it's so important for the whole region.
Well, we sent our people there, and I think we did a very good job, as headed by my friend, and that was great. That was great. I mean, I'm just hearing phenomenal reports because all I'm hearing is death, and they're chopping heads off, and it's horrible over there. And
yeah, in the Congo,
it was
bro.
really brave of you to go there, and I really appreciate it. And it looks like that. It looks like we have something very, very substantial. We also talked about trade with them in terms of rare earth and all, but really more for the. It's like if you take a look at what we just did with Pakistan and India, we settled that whole thing, and I think.
Dude, I love how Trump takes the credit for Pakistan and India when both nations came out and said that Trump had nothing to do with this and were actually upset with him trying to take credit for their own resolution. That's so fucked.
Doing a big deal with India, we're doing a big deal with Pakistan, and I said, what are you guys doing? You know, somebody had to be
Real
the
quick,
last
Julian
one
Perez
to
says,
shoot.
bro, Trump is bringing investment back into our country, something Democrats don't do. They let jobs go overseas. I want you to look up who the president was when offshoring became a thing. Here's a tip. It was Ronald fucking Reagan.
But the shooting was getting worse and worse, bigger and bigger, deeper and deeper into the countries. And we spoke to him, and I think you know, I hate to say we got it settled, and then 2 days later, something happens, and they say it's Trump's fault. But Pakistan has got some excellent people and some really good, great leader. And India is my friend, Modi. And he's a
mutual friend.
Yeah, he's a great guy. And I called them both, and we just.
There's no way he knows it. He does this a lot. He did this during his Middle Eastern trip. He was like, I met with the leaders. I met with the leader of Saudi Arabia. Great guy, handsome guy. He doesn't remember these fucking people's names. And the thing is, you don't have to remember these people's names. You're a YouTube chatter. He does. He's the fucking president of the United States.
It's something good. We're trying to settle Russia, Ukraine. You spoke with President Putin for 2.5 hours the day before yesterday. I think we made a lot of progress, but that's a bloodbath. 5,000 people are being killed a week. 5,000 soldiers a week, not including people in cities and towns that are also
$10 donation. I work graveyard
to
shift tonight, so just in case Goose isn't crying, here's another 10. Thank you for the $10 donation. Love you, Chris. Love you all in chat. Hope you all have a great day. Thank you very much, Missing Space. I appreciate the $10 donation.
help. And it doesn't affect us. It's not our people. It's not our soldiers. It's Ukraine and it's Russia. But if we can save 5,000 souls, we'll do it. You know, we're pretty good at it. But that's a bad situation. That is a really bad situation.
Well, you'd recall when President Zelensky was coming to South Africa, that's when I spoke to you.
That's right.
We both agreed that we need to push the peace message so that there can really be peace. And we've been involved in the Ukraine-Russia conflict for quite a while. Through my Minister of State Security here, we've been dealing with them, the exchange of children who were taken away, going through names and addresses and all that. So we've been invested in that whole process as well. And the moves that you're making are fully supported by us because we would like to see the end of that war.
It's true. I called Zelensky, and they said, he's in South Africa. I said, what the hell is he doing in South Africa?
He was talking to us.
We got this thing. That's a strange one. I said, what are you doing in South Africa?
Yes.
That's a strange one.
He's trying to make peace.
Yeah, he's trying to work with people who actually give a fuck about his future. Doland, you made it abundantly clear in the Oval Office when you and J.D. Vance had this like staged, orchestrated, planned out attack on him. The whole point of that, by the way, guys, I don't know if you know this, was to bury the story from like the day earlier where the Trump regime released this fake Epstein file, and even the MAGA Republicans were like, this shit is bullshit, we already have the flight logs, give us the real thing, why are you hiding it? So immediately they do this fucking barrage on Zelensky. Why didn't you say thank you? It was so fucking orchestrated.
You know, we were lucky because we had the great Nelson Mandela who taught us how to create peace, to make peace. So we were imparting some of those lessons to him, some of those learnings. And I specifically mentioned to him that this is how Nelson Mandela taught us that when you want to have a peace in a country, do it on an unconditional basis and sit down and talk. And that's precisely what I'm sure he's going to heed.
Well, I want to see what happens with that when it's there's a lot of hatred, there's a lot of death. It's a bloodbath.
It is.
I get the,
unfortunately.
I get the satellite pictures of that field, of that killing field. You never saw anything like it in your life. It's horrible. It's a horrible thing that goes on, but I think we've made big progress. Yeah, please, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President.
No, not you. Right here. He's from South Africa. Go ahead, please.
What are you expecting on the ICJ case? Are you expecting South Africa to drop that? Is that what you're trying to do?
On which case?
The ICJ
The International
case
Criminal Justice.
Isn't that what the ICJ is?
I don't expect anything, to be honest. I really don't. I don't know. It's they've got a case. There's a lot of anger there, tremendous anger. I don't expect anything. We'll see what happens. We'll have a ruling, and who knows what the ruling is going to mean.
Brother, you announced earlier that the United States no longer respects the International Criminal Court. I don't think Trump knows what the fuck is going on in his own regime. I understand he's like a fucking fascist, and I understand he's like cruel. But I genuinely think like much of this is being orchestrated by the people around him. You know, like specifically Stephen Miller, maybe even No Lip Levitt.
On that subject of Gaza, Mr. President, are you going to be speaking to Prime Minister Netanyahu about Israel's renewed offensive there? There's been a lot of concern from European countries. The Pope has expressed concern. Are you going to be asking Prime Minister Netanyahu to turn down the offensive in Gaza to let...
No, I'm not, because he's got me by the balls. Mossad and Epstein have got quite a file on me, and frankly, I'm afraid.
Was that a question or a statement? This guy's, you never change.
Mr. President, this time.
Is he dead ass just not going to answer it? He dead ass just isn't going to answer that. Meanwhile, he went on like some fucking 4-minute long rant about Letitia James. What the fuck are we doing?
For you to be convinced that there's no white genocide in South Africa.
Well, I can answer that for President.
Oh shit!
It's for him. No, seriously.
I'd rather have him answer.
Yeah, I'd rather answer that.
Here we go.
Our president will respond to you.
Yeah, let me,
Thank you, Mr. President.
it will take President Trump listening to the voices of South Africans, some of whom are his good friends, like those who are here. When we have talks between us on around a quiet table, it will take President Trump to...
I wonder if Elon Musk is in this room. He probably isn't. He's been like fucking excommunicated by MAGA. But if Elon Musk is in this room, he's the driving force of the whole like white genocide thing. You guys saw that like Elon Musk tried to reprogram Grok into like claiming like genocide claims that like and Grok is like, well, actually there isn't a white genocide going on. So Elon tried to it's crazy shit. If Elon is in this room, this is fucked.
Listen to them. I'm not going to be repeating what I've been saying.
Elon is there? Jesus.
I would say if there was Afrikaner farmer genocide, I can bet you these three gentlemen would not be here, including my Minister of Agriculture.
Yeah, because all of his fucking ministers are white. Like, brother, what are we talking about? Do you think that during the Holocaust, Hitler had fucking Jewish right-hand men? No! Do you think that the fucking the Chinese have Uyghurs as top representatives? No! Do you think that fucking Israel has Palestinians as top representatives, like ministers of agriculture? No!
With me. So it'll take him, President Trump, listening to their stories.
Dude, this guy has no idea what he's up against. It will not take him listening. It will take a fucking miracle for Donald Trump to admit that there's no white genocide.
Perspective. That is the answer to your question.
But, Mr. President, I must say that we have, wait. We have thousands of stories talking about it. Sure. And we have documentaries, we have news stories, and that is Natalie here? Somebody here to turn?
This is why MAGA is the way they are. This is the president of South Africa. He's got top representatives. He's like, no, there's no white genocide going on. We've got the data to prove it. It's just not true. And Trump goes, well, I've seen thousands of Facebook articles and Truth Social posts. Like, This is why they operate the way they do, because it's all top down, and he'll believe anything that reinforces his preconceived notions. So then, therefore, so will his fucking cultists.
That I could show you a couple of things, and I have to, it has to be responded to.
Yeah, sure.
Let me see the articles, please, if you would, and turn the lights down. Turn the lights down.
Get those lights
Just
off!
put this on, it's right behind you. Johan.
Oh my God.
Nothing this parliament can do.
Prepared a
With or
movie.
without you, people are going to occupy land. We require no permission from you, from the president, from no one. We don't care. We can do whatever you want to do. Who are you to tell us whether we can occupy land or not? We are going to occupy land. South Africa occupy land. That's who we are. We don't care what to do. How can we withdraw my membership from this useless parliament?
Yes, honorable member. Must never be scared to kill. A revolution demands that at some point there must be killing, because the killing is part of a revolutionary act. Shoot to kill. Yamaza. Kill the poor, the farmer. Kill the poor, the farmer. Pa, pa.
This is wild. Dude, this is fucking wild. I know Stephen Miller is in the back of the room grinning like a fucking nutcase. This is what is happening, Chris. Trump prepared a little mini movie compilation of, like, I don't even know, they won't show us, but I'm assuming it's like black South Africans like calling for the death of white South African farmers. That and he's saying this is proof of a genocide. Meanwhile, this motherfucker would never in a million years call what's going on in Palestine a genocide, where 200,000 civilians have been torn to smithereens.
He is a white man. So these people, when you want to hit them hard, go after a white man. They feel a terrible pain because you have touched a white man. Not because Mashaba and Suri will not be touched. They will be touched, no one. But we are starting with this whiteness. We are cutting the throat of whiteness.
Shoot, kill, Yamaza. Kill the brewer, the farmer. Kill the brewer, the farmer. Pa, pa, pa. Shoot to kill, Yamaza. Kill the brewer, the farmer. Kill the brewer, the farmer.
What the fuck is going on? Hold on. I have to see, just for 1 second, the brain of MAGA, because I know that Julian is still here. Julian, we're all watching the same thing. When you watch this, are you like, yeah, you show him, is that, let me make sure the chat is up so the viewers can see. Koofs is, holy God, dude, I don't understand.
For the killing of white people, at least for now. I can't ever see the future. Yeah, but I mean, you don't understand somebody watching that, especially as it gets shared on Twitter. They freak out. It sounds like a genocide on
How long is this, Doland? How long is this?
who will expropriate land without compensation, whether they like it or not. If they object, they can seek refugee in America.
Now this is very bad. These are burial sites right here. Burial sites. Over 1,000 of white farmers, and those cars are lined up to pay love on a Sunday morning.
I'm willing to bet $1,000 that whatever footage he's showing is not what he's saying it is. $20 donation, random, but Chris, I want you to know that when Han Solo is in Cloud City and meets Vader for the first time and immediately tries to shoot him, he gives me a massive fucking Valenti vibes. Han wishes he had Chris Valenti aura. Thank you for the $20 donation. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you.
Each one of those white things you see is a cross, and there's approximately 1,000 of them. They're all white farmers, the family of white farmers. And those cars aren't driving, they're stopped there to pay respects to their family member who was killed.
Dude, this is actually giving the energy of like grandpa showing you an AI video of a cat in like, I don't know, like a cat fucking, a crocheted cat. I mean, like, this is happening all over Venezuela. The cats, they're getting crocheted, and it's real, and I've seen it.
And it's a terrible sight. I've never seen anything like it. Both sides of the road, you have crosses.
Look at this. Look at Ramaphosa. He's like, what the fuck are you showing?
Those people were all killed.
Have they told you where that is, Mr. President? No, I'd like to know where that is, because this I've never seen.
Dude, I bet you this isn't even in South Africa.
Okay.
I mean, it's in South Africa. That's
Wait, so you don't even know where it is? He's like, oh, yeah, well, it's in South Africa, so it's fucking real.
I know.
Look at JD's ankles! Oh, you can't see it because of me.
Pentagon announced it would be accepting a Qatari jet to be used as Air Force One.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You know,
jet time.
You gotta get out of here. What does this have to do with the Qatari jet? They're giving the United States Air Force a jet, okay? And it's a great thing. We're talking about a lot of other things.
No, they're not. It goes to the Trump library after your presidency so that you can keep it as a private plane. Do you think that this information isn't public, Doland? You fucking idiot.
It's NBC trying to get off the subject of what you just saw. You are a real, you're a terrible reporter. Number one, you don't have what it takes to be
Oh my God,
reporter.
he printed out fucking Facebook posts. He printed out a stack of Facebook posts.
Smart enough, but for you to go into a subject about a jet that was given to the United States Air Force, which is a very nice thing. They also gave $5.1 trillion worth of investment in addition to the jet. Go back, you ought to go back to your studio at NBC, because Brian Roberts and the people that run that place, they ought to be investigated. They are so terrible the way you run that network.
Dude, I love that Trump just willingly and openly says fascist shit. Like, we got to open an investigation into journalists who don't report me in a good light. Brother, that is protected by the First fucking Amendment. We had a Supreme Court case, New York Times v. Sullivan, over this, you stupid mango-looking fuck.
And you're a disgrace. No more questions from you. Go ahead. Go ahead, talk about that. His name is Peter something. He's a terrible reporter. Quiet.
That's my question now.
Let's go.
Thank you so much. President Trump, Anna Disaster from ENCA in South Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
What would you like President Ramaphosa to do about the situation that we've just seen on the screen?
I don't know. Look, these are articles over the last few days. Death of people. Death.
Death.
Oh my God.
Horrible death.
Daily Mail? You put the fucking Daily... Oh, okay, hold on, wait a minute. So wait, MAGA, does this mean Daily Mail is now a credible source for you guys? Because he's... This is so fucking crazy. This is so fucking crazy. This is literally grandpa level shit. This is grandfather level shit.
Death. I don't know.
The New York Post! The New York Post! So Koofs, oh my God, they're already folding. Koofs goes, it is credible. Okay, so Daily Mail is credible. Now that oh my God, I can't wait till the Daily Mail. And I'm going to bring up so many Daily Mail and New York Post articles that fucking shit all over Trump. And the same people are going to go, well, it's not credible. That's fake news media. Holy shit.
To pick anyone, white South Africans are fleeing because of the violence and racist laws. And this is all, I mean, I'll give these to you.
No,
so when you say, what would I like to do? I don't know what to do. Look at this. White South African couple say that they were attacked violently.
Dude, this is who MAGA is. You need to look at this. This is how MAGA functions. He's got a stack of papers, so many that he needs a fucking paperclip, and he reads the title and then puts it down. This is how MAGA operates. They read the titles of the articles, and then they just move on. Oh my God.
Go and see for yourself if it isn't.
Well, I could do that. Look, here's burial sites all over the place. These are all white farmers that are being buried. And he asks about...
These are all white farmers that are being burned. He thinks that there are white farmers being burned alive. Dude, he lives in a different fucking dimension. Donald Trump, and the worst part is, I don't know if he's lying to himself. I know that people like Stephen Miller and Elon Musk, they're lying. They know there's no white genocide, but they have to perpetuate this claim. I think they use him. I think he's like so fucking stupid that they just use him.
That was given. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You know, you are so bad.
And the reason being is if he says it out loud, he can't be wrong. He learned this from Roy Cohn. Rule number 3 is never admit defeat. The problem is, even if he finds out and learns and really consumes and understands that he is wrong, he'll never change it. He'll never come out and say he was wrong. That's not how he operates. He will never admit that he was wrong.
Such a bad reporter. This is one after another. This family was wiped out. I'm just looking.
Can we get a
Hold on, wait. I'm just looking. Dude, he sounds like me when my girl is in the shower and I just like take a step in there.
Reaction to those videos, Mr. President?
Well, I think the videos are so... No, when you look at the videos, I mean, how does it get worse? And these are people that are officials, and they're saying that kill the white farmer and take their land.
They're not officials.
That's what
those are not officials. Oh,
I have other friends. This is all. I mean, I'll give these to you. So when you say, what would I like to do? I don't know what to do. Look at this. White South African couple say that they were attacked violently.
President Trump, when will you go and see for yourself if it isn't?
Well, I could do that. Look, here's burial sites all over the place. These are all white farmers that are being buried. And he asks about a jet that was given. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You know, you are so bad. You're such a bad reporter.
$2 donation. They're covering up the real genocide. Now, you really can't cover up the real genocide. They just can't. They just don't even acknowledge it. Are we not going to talk about the mainstream liberal media is completely backpedaling on Joe Biden's health, specifically Jake Tapper and Joe Scarborough? I have no idea what Jake Tapper and Joe Scarborough have been saying. I do know that they released that fucking book all about his declining mental health, and then suddenly Biden's cancer diagnosis came out. So I know there's been a lot of drama there. Oh, and this is important. Chatter goes, how does Chris go from getting hundreds of thousands of views on TikTok to now getting maybe 50K a video? The downfall needs to be studied. We've covered this before, guys. I went from making history content, which is inherently political, to making political content because I saw that my nation was descending into fascism. And as Julian is pointing out, I was getting millions of views. I was making tens of thousands of dollars a month, and I still chose to go through the political route. completely thankless job. I get fucking so much hate. I get daily threats. I do all of this. Now ask yourself, why would somebody willingly choose to do that? I chose to do that because I genuinely believe it is my duty. I want a family. I want children. I do not want to raise kids under a fascist regime. I don't want this nation to completely forsake all bonds of brotherhood and the idea of democracy in and of itself. So I completely jumped ship and decided that I would put all of my focus, time, and energy and use the platform that I have built up to help change my nation. That's why, if you're wondering. But there you go.
No, this family was wiped out. I'm just looking.
Can we get a report from President Ramaphosa?
Your reaction to those videos, Mr. President?
Yes, I want your reaction. Well, I think the videos are so. No. When you look at the videos, I mean, how does it get worse? And these are people that are officials, and they're saying that kill the white farmer and take their land. That's what. And I have other friends in South Africa. I have people that left. One in particular that says
Elon.
You can't go there. He said they want to take your land. They take your land and they kill you. It's okay, and they say it's okay to do. Now we're going to talk about it. But this is a tremendous look. This is a story recent. These are all people that recently got killed.
Yeah.
And I don't know how it can get any worse. These are. And you know, the men that you saw, the people that you saw in that movie, those are officials. Those are people that were in office. They had one march, they had a dance in your parliament, whatever you may call it, legislature.
Well, let me clarify that.
Yeah,
let me clarify that, because what you saw, the speeches that were being made, one, that is not government policy.
Real quick, Chatter said, Chris, you only got like $200 from TikTok. And I'm not kidding. I made like $100,000 off TikTok or more. It was a lot of fucking money.
We have a multi-party.
There was one month back in 2023 where I made $50,000 in one fucking month.
Democracy in South Africa that allows people to express themselves, political parties to adhere to various policies, and in many cases, or in some cases, those policies do not go along with government policy. Our government policy is completely against what he was saying, even in the parliament. And they're a small minority party, which is allowed to exist in terms of our constitution.
But you do allow them to take land.
No.
You do allow them to take land.
Nobody can take land.
And then when they take the land, they kill the white farmer. And when they kill the white farmer, nothing happens to them.
No, there is
nothing happens to them.
There is criminality in our country. People who do get killed, unfortunately through criminal activity, are not only white people. Majority of them are black people. And we have now
that's not true, because I said so.
The farmers are not black. I don't say that's good or bad, but the farmers are not black. And the people that are being killed in large numbers, and you saw all those grave sites, and those are people that loved ones going, I guess on a Sunday morning, they told me, to pay respect to their loved ones that were killed. Their heads chopped off. They died violently. And, you know, I mean, we're here to talk about it, and I didn't know we'd get involved here. But I will say this, that if the news wasn't fake like NBC, which is fake news, totally one of the worst, ABC, NBC, CBS, horrible. But if they weren't fake news like this jerk that we have here, if we had real reporters, they'd be covering it. But the fake news in this country doesn't talk about that. They don't want to talk about it, but now they have to talk about it. But they won't. This won't even be a subject. They'll have...
Yeah. Brother, now that you keep on making shit up about white genocide, everybody's covering it, and every expert on planet Earth is agreeing there's no white genocide in South Africa, which is why you've resorted to putting together fucking Daily Mail articles, bro, which don't even argue for your case. Oh my God.
Him talking about why did a country give a free, think of this, why did a country give an airplane to the United States Air Force? Okay, the United States, not to me, to the United States Air Force, so they could help us out, because we need an Air Force One until that's Air Force One. It's being built. 2 of them being built. But Boeing's a little bit late, unfortunately. So why did they give us a plane to the United States Air Force? That's what that idiot talks about after viewing a thing where thousands of people...
Grandpa, enough with the tangent and let the motherfucker tell you what the truth is.
I'm sorry, I don't have a plane to give you.
I wish you did. Okay.
I wish you did. I'd take it. This man is for sale. And MAGA's going to cheer for that. Guaranteed. Koofs and Julian Perez are going to go, fuck yeah, bro. Fuck yeah.
I would take it. If your country offered the United States Air Force a plane, I would take it.
Okay. But coming back to this issue, which I really would like us to talk about, and talk about it very calmly. We were taught by Nelson Mandela that
like Biden wasn't corrupt, OMG, y'all leftist Aurelia or tribal group. No, Biden was insanely corrupt. Brother, I don't know what hallucinogen you took, but you need to stop tripping, bro. Every single one of these accusations is actually a confession from you. We are not a cult. We criticize Biden. We criticize Kamala. I hate the Democratic Party. You cannot criticize Donald Trump. Don't, put your fucked up mental illness onto the rest of us. That's not how this works.
There are problems. People need to sit down around a table and talk about them.
Well, there are problems.
And this is precisely what we would also like to talk about, including, of course, trade matters, investment matters. So the issues that concern you in the United States,
those are all deaths.
Yeah, in many ways, I mean, one should say you are a partner of South Africa, and you are raising concerns, and these are concerns that we are willing to talk to you about. Let me just add quickly, the criminality that we are experiencing in our country needs quite a lot of technological capability. And in one of our areas in South Africa, we're using US technology, which is able to, in many ways, identify where shootings are happening and all that. And I'd like to talk about that because there is support that we can get from you and the United States to help us deal with all these acts of criminality. And that is what I believe partnership is all about. And we are here as a partner so that we can help each other whenever there are challenges. So I'd like us to discuss it, and of course outside of the media, so that we sit down and have a really good discussion that will lead to good outcomes.
Are there any other further punitive measures that could be in place should you not be satisfied that South Africa is fixing some of the very bad things, in inverted commas, that you tweeted are happening?
Well, there are a lot of bad things happening in many countries, but this in particular has been very, very bad, very bad. And because of we're going to have the whole world watching in another short period of time because you have the G-20, and that's a big deal. And it seems like, I want you to look good. I don't want you to look bad.
Very good.
But we have hundreds of people, thousands of people trying to come into our country because they feel they're going to be killed and their land is going to be confiscated. And you do have laws that were passed that gives you the right to confiscate land for no payment. You can take away land for no payment.
I want to clarify that because we have a constitution. Our constitution guarantees and protects.
Constitution's bringing up the South African Constitution. Can we get some Constitutions in the chat, folks? Hell yeah.
The sanctity of tenure of land ownership. And that constitution protects all South Africans with regard to land ownership. However, we do say, because we've got to deal with the past, the government, and as your government also has the right to expropriate land for public use.
And you're doing that.
And we've never really.
I want to clarify something because we just got a message from Koofs. You say Biden corrupt, but you voted for the Democrats every election. Why not vote for a third or independent? Independent parties have no power in the United States. They are controlled opposition. You know this. The fucking Green Party got something like 2% of the vote. Voting for an independent party is the same thing as throwing your vote away. But the second thing, I want you to understand how old I am. I'm 27 years old. The first election I was ever old enough to vote in, it was between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, okay? Two terrible fucking picks, okay? I voted for Hillary Clinton. Like Nelson said, forced to choose between a shit sandwich and a cup of piss, I chose the cup of piss. Thank you for the $10 donation, Disobedient Avocado Constitussy. The second fucking election that I was able to vote in was 2020. Donald Trump versus Joe Biden. Same goddamn thing. A shit sandwich versus a cup of piss. So I again voted for the cup of piss. The third every fucking election I've ever had to vote in, Donald Trump was on the fucking ballot. And he's gonna be on all of them. He's gonna be on every fucking ballot. Oh my God.
With that, and we are going to be doing
you're
so.
You're taking people's land away.
We have not
from them. And those people, in many cases, are being executed. They're being executed, and they happen to be white, and most of them happen to be farmers. And that's a tough situation. I don't know how you explain that. How do you explain that? They're taking people's land away. And in many cases, those people are being executed. And in many cases, it's not the government that's doing it. It's people that kill them and then take their land, and nothing happens to them. But
why are they even arguing? Because Donald Trump is claiming that there's a white genocide going on in South Africa when there isn't. And President Ramaphosa of South Africa is trying to tell him there isn't a white genocide going on. We're having the fucking G20 here. What are you talking about?
People that want to come into our country. They're also going to Australia in a smaller number. But we have thousands of people that want to come into our country, and they're white farmers, and they feel that they're going to die in South Africa, and it's a bad thing. Yeah,
what can South Africa do? What concessions would you like to see them make to improve relations with the United States? Then I have one more for President Ramaphosa afterwards.
Well, you know, we just spoke about, I got them a very, very complex
Ramaphosa,
machine,
thank you.
150 of them. I was asked by the president if he could help, and I did that. And, you know, I have great feeling for all countries. Look, I deal with all countries, but I have a great feeling for South Africa because I have friends. I have a couple of friends, a few friends here today.
Why would he argue with a president about their own country? Isn't it clear he would know more? Donald Trump believes that nobody is smarter than him. He believes he's the smartest man on planet Earth and that he is incapable of being wrong. If you stand against him, it doesn't fucking matter. He will always be right in his mind.
I have many friends from South Africa, but many of those friends are not, they can't go back. I have Elon is from South Africa. I don't want to get Elon involved. That's all I have to do, get him into another thing. But Elon...
He is in the room, bro. This is all driven by Elon and Peter Thiel and the rest of the fucking troll oligarchs.
Happens to be from South Africa. This is what Elon wanted. He actually came here on a different subject.
With Bibi. He would never argue with Bibi. He cradles Bibi's fucking nuts. He loves Bibi Netanyahu.
Sending rockets to Mars, okay? Yes. He likes that better. He likes that subject better. That's right. But Elon is from South Africa, and I don't want to talk to him about that. I don't think it's fair to him.
That's right.
But I will say that people are fleeing South Africa for their own safety. Their land is being confiscated, and in many cases they're being killed. And that scene of, you see how many crosses they have. Those crosses, that's a dead person in every one of them. And those trucks,
bullshit,
or cars, are paying their respects to all of those dead people on a Sunday morning.
Bullshit.
That's a rough thing to explain away.
Bibi is unfortunately my president, so yeah, but that's the thing, and this is why I try to get my chat and a lot of people to understand something. You don't hate Israelis. Nobody chooses their spawn point. I didn't choose to be born in New York, and you didn't choose to be born in Israel. When I say that I don't like the Israeli government, that has nothing to do with the individuals there. Are there Zionists who are pro-Bibi Netanyahu, pro-genocide all throughout Israel? Yes. Yes, they are. And that is why I hate them. Not because they're fucking Israeli. You cannot hate somebody because of their spawn point. That's the cheesiest shit I've ever heard.
problem we have, and the way, you know, a correct and a fair media exposes things, but we have a very corrupt media. They won't even report this. If this were the other way around, it would be the biggest story. Now, I will say apartheid, terrible. That was the biggest story. That was reported all the time. This is sort of the opposite of apartheid. What's happening now is never reported. Nobody knows about it. All we know is we're being inundated with people, with white farmers from South Africa. And it's a big problem. Marco Rubio was telling me he's never seen anything like it. The numbers of people that want to leave South Africa because they feel they're going to be dead very soon.
Guys, Koof says Hail Trump 2028 all the time. All these MAGA chuds say Hail Trump. Yes, they are literally fucking Nazis and they say Hail Trump. You need to start getting used to this. I don't know how many times I can tell you, you are not up against ideological equivalents. You are up against fucking fascists, bro.
Yes, please. I was going to say,
Brian, go.
If I could just ask you a question. 72% of farmers in your country are white. If they flee, do you feel that maybe the economy could collapse? You may not have a gap to fill in those people that need to replace those farmers.
You know, I'd like my Minister of Agriculture, who is white, who comes from an opposition party to mine, who's joined my government at my invitation to address this very issue, including the question.
Real quick, palate cleanser. Luigi! Hi! Wow, you're doing the happy roll. You're doing the happy dance. Yeah. Yeah. What are you doing?
That you've just raised. John?
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Yeah.
Mr. President, thank you for welcoming us to the White House. I would say we have a rural safety problem in South Africa. I don't think anyone wants to candy coat that. And it requires a lot of effort to get on top of it. It's going to require more policing resources. It's going to require a different strategy to be able to deal with it. But certainly the majority of South Africa's commercial and smallholder farmers really do want to stay in South Africa and make it work. And I've just come from the largest agricultural show in the Southern Hemisphere with organized agriculture and farmers, and the majority of them want to stay. But they too there have a memorial to those who've died as a result of farm attacks. And as the Minister of Agriculture, it is something that I'm particularly exercised with my colleagues at police and my colleagues in the Justice Cluster.
Thank you for the $2 donation, $2 towards Luigi Treat budget. Thank you very much.
To start making farm attacks and stock theft a priority crime. And it affects all farmers in South Africa, particularly stock theft. It has a disproportionate effect on smallholder black farmers. I also want to just say this, that the two individuals that are in that video that you've seen are both leaders of opposition minority parties in South Africa, in Mkhonto weSizwe under Mr. Zuma, and the economic freedom fighters under Mr. Malema. Now, the reason that my party, the Democratic Alliance, which has been an opposition party for over 30 years, chose to join hands with Mr. Ramaphosa's party was precisely to keep those people out of power. We cannot have those people sitting in the union buildings making decisions. And that is why after 30 years of us exchanging barbs across the floor in Parliament and trying to get one over on each other, we've decided to join hands precisely to keep that lot out of government, because the day they get in to the doors of the union buildings in South Africa or control of our parliament, that's what you're going to see. And that is—
See, the problem is everything this guy just said is incredibly well put, and Trump didn't listen to a single fucking word of it. He's got this angry stink face on because this guy is very well read, he knows how to communicate to the public, and he is easily disproving everything Trump says. Trump thinks that these fucking people in the videos are elected officials in charge of a fucking genocide. They're not on equal playing fields, and Trump is just going to say, everything you said is a lie.
That's why this government, working together, needs the support of our allies around the world so that we can strengthen our hand, grow our economy, and shut the door forever on that rabble getting through the doors of the union bodies, because then South Africa's future would be—
So you denounced that type of language in the video that you saw?
Oh, yes. We've always done so. As government, as my own party, we are completely opposed to that. We, in 1955, adopted a document which said South Africa belongs to all who live in it.
But why wouldn't you arrest that man? That man said, kill the white farmers, kill the white farmers. And then he danced, and he's dancing, and it's kill the white farmers. I'm not sure, but I think if somebody got up in Parliament and started saying, kill a certain group of people, he would be arrested very quickly. That man is going all over South Africa, and that's not a small party. That was a stadium that holds 100,000 people.
That's not
and I
true.
hardly saw an empty seat.
That's
a
not
lot
true
of
at
people.
all.
That's a lot of representation. And those crosses, we have dead white people, dead white farmers, mostly. And you take a look at Australia, they're being inundated, and we're being inundated with people that want to get out. And their farm is valueless. It's valueless. And they just want to get out with their life. And this is a very serious situation. And if we had a real news or real press or media, we don't have that because they won't talk about this because they're all guys like that idiot. But if we had a real press, it would be exposed.
Bro, this is our president. Yeah, they're all like, that idiot. Oh my God, dude, he's like a petulant child.
And you know, the beauty of exposing it is it's like a cleansing action. When it gets exposed, it'll get fixed. That's when it'll get fixed. But people don't talk about it. And I'll tell you who's talking about the thousands of people that are fleeing South Africa right now.
We discussed USAID and the devastating impact the cuts are having across the African continent.
Yeah, well, it's devastating, and hopefully a lot of people are going to start spending a lot of money.
What? Bro, we're talking about the USAID cuts that you allowed Elon Musk to do through Doge. What do you mean it's terrible? You did that. What the fuck?
And I've talked to other nations. We want them to chip in and spend money too. And we've spent a lot, and it's a tremendous problem going on in many countries. A lot of problems going on. The United States always gets the request for money. Nobody else helps, as you know. Europe doesn't help. Europe hasn't given anything.
That's not true whatsoever.
All they do is sue our companies. You know, they sue Apple, and they sue all of our companies. Apple had to pay $17 billion on a nonsense lawsuit. Very unfair. But we're going to always be there to help.
The Afrikaner extravagant rights to South African broadcasting. If this Afrikaner resettlement issue is resolved, we're going to go into a room after this. You guys are going to talk. If it is resolved, what is the potential for the future-looking relationships
It's
between the United
fantastic.
States?
It's got to be resolved. It should be resolved. It's a little bit bad when you see a stadium with 100,000 people in it, because that means it's more than just a little movement. It's a pretty big movement in South Africa, so it has to be resolved. It'll be the end of the country.
By the way, Chatter is about to realize, he's like, wait, are you actually from Israel? Because he doesn't understand that you can be from Israel and not support your own government. Like, let me ask you something real quick, Koofs. Do you understand that in America, like, for real quick, Koofs, when Biden was the president, you were American, but you didn't like the government, right? Koofs? You understand that? Like, you were American, but you didn't like the government because Biden was the president. You understand that, right? Yeah? That is possible for other people in other nations, right? This guy here did not choose to be born in Israel. He was born in Israel. He probably didn't choose the leaders he was raised under, because kids don't fucking vote. People, just because they're from their nation, don't have to support every fucking action that their government takes. And I genuinely think you understand that. Because when most of the Israelis love Bibi, yes, you're right, they do. But you are capable of understanding that there are many Israelis who do not like the Netanyahu government, right? It's suspicious? What does that mean? It's suspicious. Suspicious? What the fuck does that mean? Suspicious of what? Because they don't support the government, they're what? What are you suspicious of? What do you mean you're suspicious of what? I didn't even vote for him. I wasn't able to vote. Now I fight for his army and for his goals. Exactly, because I bet you, Koofs, suspicion of treason. This is what I mean, Koofs. You're a fascist. You don't know that you're a fascist, but you think that if you don't support your government, that's treason, go to jail. That's what you believe in, which by definition makes you a fascist. Doesn't matter whether you say you are one or not. Actions speak louder than words. Your actions are that of a fascist.
Relationship moving forward.
I hope so. That's why I'm here.
November.
I mean, I'm not here for my health. I'm here to see what we can do. No, I'd like to see. I have friends. I can tell you, Ernie Els and Retief Goosen, they feel so strongly they wanted to be here on behalf of South Africa, not on behalf of me.
Yes.
And, you know, they said, can we be here for this? Because they love the country. Ernie, do you guys want to say a couple of words? I hate to put you in this. This is tougher than sinking a 3-footer. They have, and they've sank many 3-footers.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thanks for the honor of being here. We've known each other a long time. We have spoken.
So wait a second. For the chatters who believe that there's a white genocide going on in South Africa, do you also believe that these 3 white men on the left are playing a critical role in enacting a white genocide? Genuine question, and I'll make sure the chat is up for the people watching this pre-recorded on YouTube. Do you believe that these 3 white men who are like leaders in like they're ministers of the different sectors, they're used as shields? So you genuinely believe that they are perpetuating a genocide on their own race purposefully, Koofs? You believe that these 3 white men who are elected representatives in the South African government are willingly putting on a genocide of their own people? They don't have any real power. Okay, so you just don't know what you're talking about. Okay.
We're proud South Africans. I still have my South African passport. You know, we travel with this passport, you know, and I got my visa here. So, you know, but we want to see things get better in our home country. That's the bottom line. It's been 35 years since the transition. President Ramaphosa was right in the middle of the transition time in 1990 and before that. So it's been 35 years of ANC government. And I know there's a lot of anger, you know, through the transition. There was also a lot of stuff happening in the apartheid days. You know, we grew up in the apartheid era. But I don't think 2 wrongs makes a right. You know, President Mandela, when he came out of prison for all that time, didn't come out with hatred. You know, and
never forget that Nelson Mandela was on the United States terrorist watch list until the year 2014. I'm going to say that again. Nelson Mandela was on the United States terror watch list until the year 2014.
Really unified our nation through sport. You know, we won the Rugby World Cup in '95.
4 times.
We won the African Nations Cup, soccer. You know, we won some majors as golfers and so forth. So what I'm trying to say is, you know, this has been a long time coming. That's why we really wanted to meet you, meet the administration, and see our way forward, because we still want to see our country flourish. You know, we've got some great things going on. Business is getting involved with government. Farmers are getting involved in local municipalities, trying to rebuild some of the infrastructure that's been decaying for a long time. So there's a lot of coexistence going on and help from a lot of areas. But I feel we need the US to push this thing through. We've got a great ally if we can have the US.
I want to note one thing, and I know this has nothing to do with what's going on, but does anybody else agree that Trump ruined the Oval Office by gilding it in gold? Like, it's so gross and gaudy. This doesn't look good to me. And I don't know if you guys know this, that is not what the Oval Office looked like before Trump was the president. This is all added in afterwards. He's like, weirdly, it looks sick to you. I think it looks gross, dude. It looks like my grandmother's fucking house, dude. Because all of this is gilded in gold. It's not actually made out of gold. And it makes sense because Trump fucking loves the Gilded Age.
It's always been an ally of South Africa for a very long time. Even in the days of the
It also
war.
just gives piss. It looks like piss. It's not good gold. That doesn't look like good gold. Okay? I've seen good gold. Like, the fucking Saudis have way better fucking gold than this. It's a better design. This is like, to be honest, it's kind of ass. Okay, Koofs actually agrees. Koofs, who's like a dedicated hate watcher, agrees. Like, this isn't good gold, bro. You've seen better. It's Saudi Arabia and Qatar, like, and there's a reason why he fucking loves those places, and that's because that's literally why. But this is not. It's fucking gaudy. It's weird. It's gross.
You know, up in Angola, you know, you guys helped us. So, very important for us to have your support and you know, get the change we need.
Where did you do that well? You might have done that even better than he plays golf.
The inside of the White House isn't always ugly. The president can redecorate on the inside, and he changed the entire interior of the Oval Office to look like this.
Possible. Johan, please.
Sorry, Mr. President, if you had to wind all of those tapes properly, you will see I'm the biggest target of that rabble rouser. Number one for over 10 years, Mr. Malema. In fact, the first time I met him, he was in the youth league with that gentleman. And look how he's changed.
Right.
We have too many deaths, but it's across the board. It's not only white farmers, it's across the board. And we need technological help. We need Starlink at every little police station. We need...
Oh, God. We need Starlink at every police station. Dude, let me explain something to you guys. Elon Musk is a de facto government. Okay? He is essentially he has more wealth than most nations do. He has 66% of every satellite orbiting the planet. He's got Starlink keeping the fucking power on in Ukraine. Elon Musk has quite literally become a government in it of himself, you know?
Drones. I actually got drones donated for the peace parks to stop elephant and rhino poaching. And his predecessor stopped the importation because he said the United States would spy on us. I mean, US basics, the ridicule. So if you can help us. Remember, sir, you and I lived in New York in the 70s. We never thought New York could be what it became. 2 commissioners, a tough mayor. We need your help to stop this awful killing. But it's across the board. Ernie is right now building a house in George. I'm building 3 cottages for my grandchildren on a farm outside Graaff-Reinet. I often go to bed without locking the door. And we have a serious problem with illegal aliens who stream across the border. And if you really look at our statistics, a lot of these murders, firstly, it's unemployment and illegal aliens. And then I met Vice President Watts many years ago, the Charlie Rose show. My wife loved the book. And she reminded me this morning that you emphasized the devastation that occurs when big companies leave towns and cities, and there's a culture of dependency that develops. And I remember you discussing it. Now that's our problem. If we don't get our economy to grow, the culture of dependency and the lawlessness will increase. I've again been against apartheid all my life, and I'm their #1 target. Please just Google my name and Malema. You'll see it, sir. He marched on the farm.
But the crime is bad.
The crime is terrible, sir, but Mr. Steenhuisen won't admit to it, but he runs the Western Cape, where I live. And the biggest murder rate is in the Cape Flats. Gangs. We've got gang warfare. Like your M33, what are these guys? We've got equivalents there, but we need your help, sir. And we need Elon technology.
Well, one of the real areas of support.
I love how when you come to the United States Oval Office to ask for help from the President of the United States, as a South African, there happens to also be another white South African just above the President of the United States. I love that that just happens to be the coinky-dink.
It is really an investment. We've got to grow our economy, because through growing the economy, we're then able to create more jobs. Because crime really thrives where there is inequality and unemployment. And that is one of the reasons that has brought us here, to improve our investment relations, our trade relations, so that we can preserve the number of jobs that your companies have created in South Africa. By virtue of what we export to you, we are able to create up to 500,000 jobs in the auto industry, in the agricultural industry, and a number of other industries, mining, where we export things to you. And we also know that as South African companies invest here, you are also able to create jobs. So it's a mutually beneficial relationship. So our main real reason for being here is to foster trade and investment, so that we are able to grow our economy with your support, and so that we are also able to address all these societal problems, because criminality thrives when people are unemployed, when they have no other hope to eke out a living.
You can't tell that to Trump. Trump thinks that criminality is a genetic thing that's just fucking planted into minorities.
We need to resolve, and your support, your partnership with us is what is really going to give us a strong capability to move forward.
Retief, excuse me, do you have anything to say? I mean, I don't want to leave you out. You know, the guy won 3 or 4 majors. 3 or 4?
No, only 2.
That's a lot. By the way, 2's a lot. A lot of tournaments you won, too. Do you have anything to say?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. President Ramaphosa. I grew up in an area in South Africa that is a farmland area, Polokwane.
Yeah.
And there is some issues up there. Obviously, my dad was a property developer as well as a part-time farmer. And yeah, some of these buddy farmers got killed. The farm is still going. My brothers run it, but it's a constant
Who would you want to be president?
farms
Think would do a
trying to
good
get-
job? Me.
They're trying to burn the farms down to chase you away. So it is a concern to try and make a living as a farmer. And at the end, without farmers, there's no food on the plate. So we need the farmers
Your
to
brother
produce
loves
the food.
farming, right? He wouldn't do it. He wouldn't even want to do what you're doing, right? They love farming. They don't want to leave. But it's a struggle.
Yeah, and food and fresh water is the most important thing in life. Without those 2 things, you can't survive.
How is the water there?
Chatter just
The
said
water's
Chris would
great,
turn us
obviously.
into a communist fascist regime. Yeah, bro, you're right. I'd also turn us into a Democrat Republic, up, down, hot, cold regime too.
Actually, all the water comes out of the borehole, out of ground for us down there. But yeah, it is a battle to get the water out sometimes when all the equipment gets stolen all the time that you're trying to get the
So
water
does
out.
your family and your brother, do they feel safe on the farm?
They live behind electric fences, try and be at night safe. But it is constant whenever you leave that something could happen. And
there's nowhere to live.
Both of them has been attacked in their houses. My mom's been attacked in her house when she was 80. So it is difficult. But the guys live a great life despite everything going on.
Sampling.
President Trump, I brought along the president of the largest trade union in our country, Ziggy Solosi, because she leads many, many workers, more than 1 million, 2 million workers, and maybe...
So you're telling me not only is this a woman, not only is this a black woman, but this is a black woman in charge of a union? Get her out of here!
Give her a chance to say something, because she's come all the way to join us.
Thank you very much, Mr. President Trump, for having us, and President, for extending the invitation to us as organized labor. And I must say that we are here to support the initiative that has been made by our government with business, of course, as organized labor. We've been coming to Washington on the AGOA trade relations in the previous regime. And I think at the center of it all, for me, it is exactly what Mr. Rupert has said, the importance of us growing the economy. We have always emphasized when we were here and kept on coming and negotiating on AGOA that the 600 US companies that are based in South Africa, as you said, President Ramaphosa, 500,000 jobs will be wiped out. We need more foreign direct investment in our country. We are not just talking about those that will lose employment, but we are talking about over 40% of people that are unemployed that have...
Hey, Tanner, guys, just so you know, that's what we have in New York, like with the mayoral race with Zohran Mamdani, the Democratic Socialist running for mayor, is in second place. When you donate to the campaign, New York State matches your donation by 8 times. So if you donated $1 to Zohran Mamdani, the state is obligated to donate $8 to Zohran Mamdani. The thing is, that's already your money. That's the money that you've paid with your taxes. It's still your money. It's just the state using your money for what you want. And Hoof's already said that is some communist shit. So the reason why we have that is because there are grassroots donations for Zohran Mamdani, right? And he's running against Andrew Cuomo, who, when Andrew Cuomo announced his run for mayor, he raised $20 million in the first week because he has billionaire friends who immediately write him checks for millions of dollars. It's a way for normal people to be able to run for political office and raise the money that is necessary for a political campaign.
Of ever finding job. And we think that, correctly, as they have said, that we need to deal with the issue of porous borders in our country so that everyone that comes in is documented. We also need to, and I would...
Julian says, please unite. We stand divided. We fall. Democrats want to divide us, same as Republicans. You're right. That is why I am a Democratic Socialist. I don't like the Democratic Party. I don't like the Republican Party. We call ourselves the OAL. Shout out OAL in the chat. The only Americans left. If you think that everybody here agrees with each other, you're a fucking moron, dude. We've got Republicans. We've got Democrats. We've got anarchists. We've got communists. We have all socialists. We have all these different people here who have united to understand that there is one common threat, and that is Donald Trump's fascism. I don't give a fuck if you're a Republican. Donald Trump is not a Republican. If you think that his idea of creating Doge and the fucking modern Gestapo has anything to do with small government interference, you're just lying to yourself.
The minister would address the issue of land expropriation and how the policy works in South Africa. Recently, President, as you were preparing to come here on the news, in, I think it was in Natal, there was a handover of farms. And white farmers were saying, we are donating the land, but also there's a willing buyer, willing seller in South Africa. So there is no expropriation without compensation, but it is a willing buyer, willing seller. And that white farmer was even saying, President, that the government is even paying more in buying the land than what the land is worth of. And I think those are the realities, President.
So what she's saying is that the South African government is literally giving reparations to white landowners in South Africa. Meanwhile, Trump and the rest of these fucking brain-dead MAGA chuds are chanting, there's a white genocide in South Africa!
That we must say that we need to address, of course, but also the importance of agriculture linked to AGOA. People rely on it, and I think as Rafiki said,
wait, hold on. Koofs just referred to Luke Skywalker as a terrorist. Koofs is trolling. I actually think he doesn't mean a word that he's ever said. I think he's here for daddy's attention, because nobody in their right mind actually thinks that Luke Skywalker is a terrorist. If you genuinely mean that, I'm just going to get rid of you. Not because, like, I'm offended, but because I don't want to deal with... Actually, no, I can't get rid of Koofs. He gives me way too much money. All right, it's a joke. Thank fucking God, Koofs. Like, you have no fucking... I was about to say, like, dude, are you, like, mentally disabled? Like, Jesus Christ.
For survival and living.
By definition, he was. I know, but that's the whole point of Star Wars, is to show you that just because you are a rebel alliance, just because you are breaking the law, doesn't mean that you are in the moral wrong. That's the whole fucking point of Star Wars and the Empire. Ah!
For me, President, is also the issue of the crime statistics. There is no doubt about it that we are a violent nation, you know, for a number of reasons, and we're not condoning anything. But also, if you go into the rural areas where black majority are, you would see women, elderly, being raped, being killed, being murdered, and these are black elderly women that would be found throat slits, raped multiple times, and all of that. And the problem in South Africa, it is not necessarily about race, but it is about crime. And we think that we are here to say, how do we, both nations, work together to reset, to really talk about investment, but also help us in how we can have the technology and everything that is needed, President.
Don't forget, guys, I understand the cognitive dissonance for Koofs to understand that the empire is bad, but to also support the American empire's, like, imperialist conquest. Listen, I understand. The cognitive dissonance is not lost on me. I get it. I see it. And also, just to get back to the point here, this is a problem that you see in every first world nation, is that crime has nothing to do with race. It has everything to do with class, okay? Especially here in the United States, because you see crime rates skyrocket in poor black communities and in poor white communities. The same fucking problems across the board have everything to do with your wealth. That's it!
To really address the levels of crime that we have in our country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Didn't George Lucas even explain the allegory? Yes, George Lucas said himself in an interview, it's on video, that the United States is the empire and the rebels are the Viet Cong. He said this. Star Wars representative, he said it himself. You can't argue with him. He fucking created it. The empire is the United States and the rebels are the fucking Viet Cong.
Mr. President, genocide is a very strong word. I'm wondering if you can make up your mind as to whether you believe genocide is occurring in South Africa, or you still have doubts, and if you have made up your mind, why invite President Ramaphosa here today?
Well, I haven't made up my mind. I hate to see it
so
from
you
the standpoint
don't
of
think it's genocide. Oh, hey guys, hey MAGA, Koofs, Julian, Trump just said that he doesn't even think it's a genocide. He doesn't know. He hasn't made up his mind. So which one is it now? Now that you've heard from the glorious leader, let me ask you, do you think there's a white genocide in South Africa? Because earlier you were like, yes, there is. But now, so which one is it? Julian, Koofs, is there a white genocide in South Africa? Now that you've heard from the supreme leader, you have a talking point. Well, it's not a genocide, but it's bad. There it is. There it is.
South Africa, but also, you know, I'm trying to save lives. I'm working with Russia and Ukraine. I don't have to do that. It's not our war. It was started by other people. It was helped along by our past administration. It would have never happened if I were president, but I'm trying to save lives. And no matter where. Rwanda, I have nothing to do with Rwanda and the Congo, but I felt I had a very talented person in this administration, and I sent him there. And he did an unbelievable job, I think. I mean, we're going to find out, but he's
never claimed it was
the hardest.
Yes, you did, Koofs. Every single one of your chats is logged, bro.
Part of the job.
Remember earlier when you asked me if I was a genocide denier because I don't believe there's a white genocide in South Africa? Don't you remember, brother?
It should happen. If I can save lives, I want to save the lives. If it's in Africa, that's great. If it's in Europe, if it's wherever it may be. And it's a very small investment to do, believe me, compared to what the consequences are. So
I hope we can do something. Look, I have so many friends. These two men, I have great admiration for them because I know what they do for a living.
Yeah.
And that's a very hard living. Going from city to city, from country to country, and hitting a ball 350 yards like they do.
Being a golfer is a hard life. Is that what you're saying? This guy is so fucking disconnected from reality. Oh my God. He's a man of the people. He's a man of the working class.
Better than you and I.
Getting the ball in the hole. It's a very tough, with lots of people watching, right?
Yes,
That's a very tough living. You know, they're champions. I respect champions, and I respect very much. And I think the country is very lucky. They really wanted to be here.
That's true.
They could be elsewhere. They could be on a beautiful fairway someplace, and they wanted to be here.
I'm glad you brought
So.
How you doing, William? Welcome back, brother. Good. How you doing?
My name is Yanda Ngobo from Newsroom Africa in South Africa.
Good.
How important is it for the United States to be at our G20 summit in November, given the relationship between our two countries? You just heard what has been said to you just now. Are you coming, and are you preparing to come?
So without the United States, the G20, just like the G7, used to be the G8, but brilliantly they threw Russia out. Would have been a lot better if Russia was in. You know, a lot of people would say, oh, that's not it. Because if Russia was in, you probably wouldn't have this war. And if you had a different president, you wouldn't have the war either. But we have a G7. It's important that the United States is in both of them. I think without the United States, it's I really believe it's not very important. It's not the same meaning.
As I said to President Trump, the U.S. really originated the G20. And it's important that the United States continues to play a key role in the G20. And we are privileged to be the president of the G20, but we are even overjoyed that we are going to hand over to the United States, who are the originators. And for that reason, I expect the United States to continue playing.
Chatter says, Chris, this is a Democrat-Republican issue. They're playing the divide and conquer game. You need to be a better person that can unite us. Brother, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to unite America under the wave of fucking socialism. If you are, are you genuinely stupid enough to think that the Democratic Party wants to convert to socialism? They don't. I'm an enemy to both parties, dog. Holy fuck.
The leadership role in the G20 together with other countries. And I've said when I initially spoke to President Trump on the phone, I want him to come to South Africa for a state visit, and I also want him to come and participate in the G20. And I want to gladly hand over to President Trump to take the leadership of the G20 forward in November.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
What is it going to take to convince you?
I don't want to leave.
I'm not a liberal, Julian. I'm a democratic socialist. It's not your fault that you don't know the difference, but there is a difference. All right, so the rest of this is just going to be them ushering the fucking media out of the room. Okay, so listen, if you're watching this pre-recorded on YouTube, I told you. That was the fucking most bizarre meeting I've ever seen Trump have. That fucking tape, the Daily Mail thing, being like, death, death, death. Oh, look at the crosses. I mean, if at this point, if you still are like a proud Trump supporter, there is no saving you, dude. You are so deep in the cult that I genuinely believe you would support getting rid of elections entirely and letting Trump rule as a king until, you know, he fucking passes it on to his son. Genuinely, I do believe that a lot of people, like 20% of the MAGA voters, I believe about 20% of the MAGA voters would unironically support that. Anyway, If you're watching this pre-recorded on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. That costs you nothing, and it helps me immensely. And remember, this is real independent media. I have no funding. I've never had a conversation with an advertiser or a billionaire or a government. So if you do want to help this channel out financially, there's a couple of ways you could do it. You could become a patron on Patreon for $5. You can become a member on YouTube for $5. You could buy some of this dope-ass Valenti Videos merch right down below, and you can use that 40% off discount for the Vantage subscription on Ground News located in the description below. Other than that, click that video right over there. I promise you it's an absolute banger. Have a good one. There we go. Oh, we got a Turbo Wolf in the chat. Who said beta? Who said beta? Where is it? I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. I didn't see it. False alarm? Copy that. You can't be serious. Why do you think Bernie Sanders has never been president and the Democrats actively distance themselves on him? Alrighty. Excuse me. Look at this. Koofs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Koofs, you're my second top chatter, dude. Koofs, you were the second most popular chatter. Thank you for all the engagement. With 73 chats, bro. You just got a gifted donation from Robert Gray. Thank you very much for giving one person the membership. Congratulations to Billy Rutan. Julian's number 3, dude. Julian and Koofs are my number 3 and number 4 top chatters. Jeez, bro, what? Yeah, dude. This is why I tell you, like, you have, like, a crush on me. You have a weirdly parasocial relationship with somebody that you hate who is a fucking dude on YouTube with a Logitech camera in his fucking office with a dog and a cat. Like, this is why I try to tell you, bro, like, you might be mentally disabled. You have an, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. I'm telling you the truth. You might have a mental disability, dude. This is the most obscene parasocial behavior I've seen in a long time. Yeah, dude, you're like a fucking fangirl. You're like a fangirl. JD Dubois, let me see where you are, JD. You're not even on the top, what is it? I think this is the top 30. Do not ban Julian. It was true what you're saying. You risk thousands of dollars to speak out your mind. I respect that. Animan doesn't betray his values. Yeah, dude. Of course it's true. Let me ask you something, Julian. What is the alternative? Is the alternative that I abandoned making history content because Kamala Harris and the Democratic National Convention started cutting me $1 million checks to dispel propaganda where I say Kamala Harris fucking sucks and the Democratic Party sucks? Is that the alternative, Julian? Just use your fucking head. Use critical thinking for a second. Genuinely, do you think I'm being paid by the United States government to tell you that the United States government sucks? Chris, can you go back to half history and politics? Dude, you're going through a mental spiral. Koofs, every Saturday I make a history video, and we're starting a new channel called Valentified History, where we do deep dives into history. I never stopped making history content. And also, the fact that you think this is a mental spiral is ridiculous. What the fuck makes you think I'm having a what? What did you call it? A mental spiral, yeah. Yeah, but it's all about Trump. He's the president of the United States of America. He's the most powerful man on planet Earth. And I live here. And I have a bachelor's degree with a major in history and a minor in political science. This is what pays my bills. This is my job. What the fuck are you saying? Holy shit. Like it will be about World War II Germany and you will bring up Trump? Yes, because Donald Trump and Adolf Hitler have remarkable similar tendencies in regards to fascism. Yes, because the whole point of studying history is learning the lessons and trying to do better. That's the whole point. That's the entire point of studying history, is learning the mistakes of the past and trying to prevent them, building a better world to hand over to our children and our grandchildren. That's the whole fucking point. Oh, jeez. No, bro, you can't be a refugee in my house. Fuck off. I really hope America can be saved. Yeah, dude, that's why I do what I do. I'm trying to fucking build a better world for my kids. My future kids. Chris Defo drives down to the border and picks up illegals and smuggles them in. What? What? Yeah, I think he's schizo posting now. That's fucking wild. That's fucking wild, bro. That's the funnier part, is that Koos is actually going through a mental spiral. And the proof is in the fucking pudding, dude. He is one of my most dedicated fucking Koofs. Just so you know, this isn't by stream. This is not by stream. This is in general. Koofs and Julian. This is for the entire 8 years I've had a YouTube channel. You are number 3 and number 4 top chatters. Do you not understand that? You have an extremely unhealthy relationship with hatred. You need help. You need professional help, dude. If you had a therapist and you told him this or her, they would be like, yeah, you should probably stop watching that channel. If it fills you with this much anxiety and hatred and fear, you should just stop watching it. I tell the truth in a world full of lies. Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? Hold on. Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? Is this a Nazi salute? Oh, yeah? Yeah, the cable came. Cable came, Malin. Even 14-year-old Matthew Piombino understands that that's a Nazi salute. Again, he's autistic and awkward. Yeah, so you don't tell the truth in a world full of lies. That's not what you do. That's not what you do.
Making it happen. Thank you.
Look at the... Remember, guys, he says he tells truth in a world full of lies. Hey, is this a Sig Heil?
Making it happen. Thank you.
Thank you for the $5 donation. DNC money laundering evidence for Koofs. Thank you. I'm just gonna let this play over and over for a little
Thank
bit.
you.
So, Koofs, is this a Nazi salute?
Making it happen. Thank you.
You already got rid of him from MAGA. I don't give a fuck. Is this a Nazi salute? And no, you didn't get rid of him. He was in the Oval Office yesterday. So, is this a Nazi salute, Koofs? Hey, Koofs, is this a Nazi salute? It looks bad, but don't worry, we'll keep it playing. Hey, Koofs, is this a Nazi salute? It's okay, little buddy. You can probably find your balls one day. Is this a Nazi salute, Koofs? Wrong hand also. Incorrect. He used his right hand. You use your right hand in a Sig Heil. Incorrect. So is this a Nazi salute, Koofs? Come on, Koofs. Be brave. Sure, it is. But again, he was probably on a lot of drugs. Okay, so you went from he's autistic and it's not a Nazi salute to yes, it is a Nazi salute. Welcome. Welcome back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Hey, judges just blocked Trump from closing the Department of Education. A little bit of hope. On Thursday, a federal judge in Massachusetts issued a preliminary injunction blocking President Trump and U.S. Education Secretary Linda McMahon from carrying out Trump's executive order, calling for the secretary to close the Department of Education. Hell fucking yeah. Hell yeah. Well, here's the thing, though. Trump doesn't listen to federal judges, so he'll probably just disobey them. He's probably on a lot of drugs, Chris. Be real. Yeah. Yeah. He definitely was, which is why he just, like, completely allowed himself to be celebratory and truthful. Yeah. He was probably on a fuckload of ketamine. Exactly, Nona Katz. Sober, he understands why he can't do it, but ripped on ketamine, he forgets that he can't just do whatever he wants. Exactly. Did the Senate and House pass the bills? Did they revise it for no tax on tips or do a fast one pretending? No, they didn't pass, like, no tax on tips. It's called the No Tax on Tips Act, but it's like a deduction for cash-only tips up to $25,000, and it's a $4,000 cash deduction for people making $160,000 or less. And you have to, what is it? You have to qualify for it and report those tips, so, like, it doesn't actually change anything. You pull it up? No, I'm fucking lazy. Let me try looking it up. House passed. It was a Roman salute, not a Nazi salute. Hey, dipshit. Those are the same thing. First of all, the Romans didn't do that salute. That is a reference from a painting in the 1700s that, like, had the Romans doing the salute. There is no history there's no evidence that the Romans ever did that salute. But second of all, when Benito Mussolini, the inventor of fascism, when he started adopting that salute, Hitler then came to Italy, saw the salute, saw the goose stepping, and decided to bring it back and popularize it through the establishment of the Third Reich and the Nazi regime. That is a Sig Heil. The Roman salute is a Sig Heil. They're the same thing. You're not I know you think you're doing something clever, but by calling it a Roman salute is the same thing as saying it was indeed a Sig Heil. That's what a Sig Heil is. So did Stalin use the normal salute on your forehead? Is that bad now? What? No, dude, that salute is older than Stalin. That salute is fucking ancient history. Nobody ever did the Roman salute until the fascists in Italy. The next people to do it were the Nazis in Germany. And then humanity abandoned it because we all understood that the Sieg Heil is directly related to Nazism. This is something you understood when you were a kid. This is something you would never have done as a child. You would never have gone out in public Sieg Heiling as a 15-year-old. But once Elon Musk, your Führer, started doing it, you had to defend it because you're in a cult. You have to defend anything and everything that Elon Musk and Donald Trump does. You're just a bootlicking cultist, dog. There's nothing anybody can do to help you. Nobody can help you, dog. It's over. It's over for you. Cuomo was based saying it's bullshit. I'm not fucking watching Chris Cuomo. He's a piece of shit. Trump administration halts Harvard's ability to enroll international students. That's fucking crazy. And of course, it's locked behind a fucking paywall. I think you mean Zohran Mamdani, Matthew? Yeah, I'm rooting for Mamdani. You should make a video comparing 1930s German politics to the downfall of the Weimar Republic to recent United States. I think I just made a video about that called Why Fascists Pretend to be Socialists, but I do have a video coming out, I think next week, about the Dolch-Tolls myth and the rise of fascism in Germany, but we're not going to be mentioning the United States. The whole point of it is for you to hear what you're hearing and immediately think of the United States. I don't even have to say it. Oh. Look at this. So this is in the One Big Beautiful Bill. Ending taxes on earnings that workers make from tips would cost $40 billion. The policy applies to workers making cash tips in occupations that, quote, traditionally and customarily received tips as of the end of 2024 as certified by the administration. But experts have questioned the breadth of the impact given that many tipped workers don't earn enough to pay federal income taxes to begin with. It also halts taxes on overtime pay at a cost of $124 billion, according to the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office. The package also includes a tax break for auto loan interest payments, and it calls for temporarily increasing the child tax credit to $2,500 and boosting tax deductions for seniors. All of these tax breaks would run through the end of 2028. It passed in the House and Senate. Are you happy now? Did it actually pass in the House? Oh, it did. Wait, did it? It did. Are you happy now? Well, once the president signs off on it, just so you understand, what you're experiencing right now, this is called checks and balances. This is the way the things are supposed to go. Senate signs on it, the House signs on it, the president signs on it. That's how things are supposed to go, right? And I would love for us to have no tax on tips. The problem is, I don't think that's what this actually is. I think this is a way for like extremely rich people to be able to write off their bonuses, because that would be considered a tip under this. Bill also seeks, oh wait, we already read that. Medicaid cuts. The legislation contains one of the largest Medicaid cut funding cuts in modern history projected to be nearly $700 billion. So they're cutting $700 billion to Medicaid? Dude, 80 million Americans use Medicaid and Medicare. Holy fuck. That is so fucking nuts. Bill also cuts Medicaid funding to states if they allow people in the United States illegally to access Medicaid. It increases the funding to 10 states, nearly all of them dominated by Republicans, and have declined to expand Medicaid under the Affordable Care Act. Cuts to SNAP, that's food stamps. $290 billion cut to food stamps. Holy fuck. $150 billion boost in new military spending. For children, the federal government sees $1,000. Parents could then contribute $5,000 until the child is 18. I don't even know what the fuck that means. Oh, and he wants to increase the debt ceiling by $4 trillion. He's going to add $2.3 trillion to the fucking debt. Look at this. The bill is projected to add $2.3 trillion to the federal deficit. Oh my God, we're so fucking cooked. We're so fucking cooked, bro. Just keep raising the debt ceiling. Fuck it. Just keep printing money, boys. Just keep on printing money. Anyway. I think it's Thummy Thursday, right? I think it's Thummy Thursday. So did the BBB pass the House and the Senate? No, it's the no tax. Oh wait, no, it did. They're in like an intense. It still needs to be approved by the president, but I'm pretty sure it passed the Senate and the House. Okay. This is episode 130. Run for local office, please. I will. I got money to make first, son. I'm broke as shit, dog. Hidden law, which makes it more difficult for federal courts and Supreme Court to intervene executive orders. I did not know about that, but I would not be surprised. Trump fucking hates the courts. All right. You guys ready to lose frames? Somebody was just whistling in the hallway, and it was so loud. That was fucked. No, you're never going to get the Epstein list because Trump is on it. No, you're never going to get the Epstein list. Okay, say goodbye to the frames. Here we go. You guys heard the whistling? That was like the loudest whistling I've ever heard in my life. Luigi didn't like that. Luigi. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, bark. Fucking dog. Waluigi! Kommen Sie Hilfe Laus! Komm, Achtung! Mach schnell! Komm! Komm! Luigi, do harras! Jesus. There go the frames. Here go the frames. I got a new PC coming, and I got a fucking a new Ethernet cord on its way. PC or a laptop? It's a laptop. The Whistler is coming back. Here comes the Whistler. Good God. All right, let's get some text. How do you do the special O? I want to do a special O because I don't want to write the word genocide. I'm going to get fucking flagged. There we go. Copy. It's in symbols. File. Or what is it? Symbols? Where the fuck is symbols? Anybody know where to find symbols? I'm on Canva. Here, I'll use this. This will do. That accented O kind of sucks. Give me this one. Now we gotta get me in there. Do stars and dashes if necessary? No, I know, you're right. You're right. But I think I'm good with what I got right now. That'll do. That'll do, that'll do, that'll do. All right, get ready to lose frames again. We're going to lose frames again. We are going to lose frames again, chat. Wrong lever! Okay, so now we need a title. This is episode 130. Trump's watch South African president schools Trump on South African president schools Trump How about South African president lectures Trump on reality? Or how about South African president gives Trump a, all caps, reality check? South African president gives Trump a reality check. Afrikaners flood to the U.S. How about now? Gives Trump a reality check. Whites only. No. We'll just do that. Watch. South African president gives Trump a reality check. Okay. Donald Trump embarrasses himself in front of the South African president. How do you know all of these languages, Chris? You defo do odd jobs for nations. What? What are you talking about? What languages are you talking about? Talking about how, like, I know a slight little bit of different languages? Like, I don't speak any language fluently other than English. German and High Valyrian? Brother, I don't actually speak German. I know a little bit of German from the video games I grew up playing. CIA shooting that happened today? I'll cover that later. Sure. Koofs, even if I did speak other languages fluently, do you think that would mean I was like a spy for that nation? If I spoke another language fluently? Are you serious or are you trolling? Bye, Dino. South African president gives Trump a reality check. Okay. Now, South African president just pointing out it's weird and you love China so much. I really don't love China so much. I love their trains. I don't like the Chinese government though. But just pointing out it's weird. So again, let me ask you, what is weird about somebody speaking other languages? South African president embarrasses Trump. I know. How about this? South African president steamrolls Trump in the Oval Office. That'll do. I like China and I love them for their government, at least normally. Listen, I've never been to China. I don't know too much about what it's like to live in China. Luigi! But I like the Chinese train system a lot. South African president steamrolls Trump. Okay. Come. All right, that video's up. Luigi! Get shareable link. New video just dropped. Trump's craziest interview yet. Dohairas! There we go. Luigi's almost 3.我们是幸福里是sang sang，哭着来， 要糟糕老就有，让我们尽处理学习样样记性有，我们去尽处理去上上。He's just saying it out loud. Brother, that's like a very famous Chinese song. Koofs, that's like a wildly famous Chinese song. What, am I not allowed to like a Chinese song? The fuck? For Mao? No, dude, that song... that song is about, like, love. It's about a woman. It is literally nothing to do with communism. What the fuck? What? Oh my god. Translate to English. You want to know what I'm singing? Here. 我们去尽处理去尝尝 苦就来，糟糕了就有，让我们尽处理去喜洋洋尽喜有，我们去尽处理去尝尝。Can you read, Koofs? Are you capable of reading? Ain't that what they sing for Mao? Oh my god. Do you think Mao Zedong is alive? This guy thought Mao... Jack, I need you to put Koofs in the corner for at least 60 seconds. That is insane. Koofs, you're so stupid. Koofs, you're so stupid. Chat, take that as a lesson. You never need to take Koofs seriously. There's nothing he could possibly say that you should be taking seriously. That is the... I've been making content for 8 years. You're the stupidest person I've ever encountered. That is fucking crazy. There's Trump supporters in here. I'm pretty sure Tanner said he was a Trump supporter. Julian Perez. You guys are not that stupid, right? You guys know Mao Zedong has been dead for decades, right? What did I miss? Koofs thinks Mao Zedong is alive. Yeah, dude, I'm pretty sure Tanner's a Trump supporter. Holy fuck, Koofs, I mean this so disrespectfully. You're so fucking stupid. You are so fucking stupid, dude. You should be wildly embarrassed. Holy shit. You meant to say Jinping? Who the fuck is Jinping? Dude, you're so stupid. Oh my god. You know who I'm talking about. Yeah, and you fucking don't. That's the problem. Luigi, come here. Come here. Leave him alone. Luigi! Oh my god. Holy fuck. I needed that. That helped refresh the palate. Made me understand that I'm not really operating against like a normal person. Xi Jinping, I meant obviously Dick Koofs. It's over, bro. You're so fucking stupid, dude. You thought Mao Zedong was alive, and you thought this song was about Mao Zedong. It was made in 2020. The song was made in the year 2020. You stupid fuck. Oh my god. Brother, Mao has been dead since 76. What? Oh my god, he's so stupid. He's so fucking dumb. Oh my god. Chat, boo this man. Boo! Boo! Oh my god. My god. Thank you for the laugh, bro. I appreciated that. I really did need that. It's okay, Luigi. It's okay, Luigi. Koofs is not real. I know. It is. Hey, Koofs, the Chinese invented gunpowder. Does that make gunpowder communist? The Chinese invented gunpowder, dog. Does that make them? Does that make gunpowder communist? Luigi, du hörst! Komm zur Hilfe, los! Komm! Luigi, Achtung! Schnell! Mach schnell! Dude, I didn't mean that, obviously. Yeah, you did. You're a fucking dipshit. Of course you meant it. Brother, just embrace how fucking dumb you are. There's no point in pretending. Fine, God. What, are you getting triggered because you're realizing how fucking stupid you are? What's next? You're going to say I should be rounded up and sent to CCOT like you say every other fucking stream? You goddamn fascist? What are we going to... Which one are you... What, are you going to do all caps MAGA 2028? Or are you going to do Hail Trump? Which one are we doing? Which one are we doing now, Koofs? Where are we headed? Get your bets in, folks. Get your bets in. It's either going to be MAGA 2028, Hail Trump. Which one's it going to be, Koofs? What are you actually saying to Luigi? Dohairas means obey me. Likiri means calm down. Komitsi Hilfe means come here. Laus means now. Mach schnell means faster. Aktun means attention. Koofs is going to say neither. Brother just hit the backspace over and over again. He was like, motherfucker, dude. He called it. $2 donation for Mao's funeral costs. 我们齐心自立起山场，苦着来要走高楼就有我。Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Alex, you stop fucking crying. I used to like your videos when you did exciting historical videos. Now you just insult half the country when a majority of us are in the middle when it comes to political beliefs. Hey, Kyle Brown, do you want to deport U.S. citizens to El Salvador? Hey, Kyle Brown, do you want to deport U.S. citizens to El Salvador? Hey, Kyle, do you want to deport U.S. citizens to a slave labor camp in El Salvador? Oh yeah, deportations. We love deporting U.S. citizens to a slave labor camp in El Salvador. Hell yeah, brother. Oh, fucking yeah. Where'd you go, brother? Brother, you can't handle the heat. Why are you getting in the kitchen? Thank you, Chris, for making great content, keeping it real from the brainwash that's happening before our eyes. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you very much. Kyle, where did you go? Makes me so fucking scared about all these folks being kidnapped and shipped away that we have no idea where they're sending the women. Yeah, that's a big problem. And no fucking clue where they're going. Against doesn't mean I agree with everything. Citizens should get due process. That's not my question, Kyle. Do you support deporting U.S. citizens to El Salvador, even with due process? Also, everybody in the United States gets due process. It's in the fucking Fifth Amendment, dude. It says all persons, not all citizens. And we know that there's a clear distinction because all citizens are entitled to the Second Amendment, but not all persons. So there is a clear distinction there. Kyle, don't answer. He's a Marxist. You don't know what Marxism is, but no, I'm not a Marxist or a communist. So, Kyle, do you want to deport U.S. citizens to a slave labor camp in El Salvador? If they're proven to be part of MS-13, sure. So you are aware that that is a direct violation of the United States Constitution, and you cannot deport a U.S. citizen because they're born in the United States. That's not deportation. That's human trafficking. So just let me get this straight. You support sending United States citizens to a slave labor camp in El Salvador? Yes or no? Or are you a socialist but not a communist? I don't believe communism is possible. Chris is a champagne socialist? Yes, I am. That's exactly what I am. I'm very aware of my privilege. Kyle, do you support deporting U.S. citizens to a slave labor camp in El Salvador? Yes or no? You know it's unconstitutional. Do you support it or no? Dude, why can't you answer? What are you, afraid? There's fucking 100 people here. Jesus Christ. Why don't you let other people sleep in your apartment besides your girlfriend or whatever, just homeless people if you care so much? So you believe that it is up to me, an individual, to cause the problem of homelessness in the United States? You would rather I just take in homeless people than we actually do something about the systemic issue? Is that what you're saying? Again, no, I don't agree with every decision by our government. Okay, Kyle Brown, second question. If the United States president said that he wants to deport U.S. citizens, would you still support that regime? If the United States president said he wants to deport U.S. citizens to a slave labor camp in El Salvador, would you still support that regime? Who says you can help somebody? Dude, I give homeless people money and food all the time out here. But again, that's like putting a Band-Aid on a fucking bullet wound. We need real systemic change. Kyle. Yeah, Tanner, you can deport your neighbor for that. 100%. Somebody's dog shits in your yard, deported immediately. Get rid of them. Kyle, come back. Come on. Don't be a coward. Try and have this conversation. I know it's going to be scary, but just try to have it. Kyle. Give you 2 seconds to type. Brother, it's been like fucking 60. Jesus Christ. Such a simple question. If a United States president said he wanted to deport U.S. citizens to a slave labor camp in El Salvador, would you still support that president? My answer is no. No, I wouldn't support that president if they said that they wanted to deport U.S. citizens to a slave labor camp in El Salvador. No, I wouldn't support them. What's your answer? Holy fucking shit. Jesus. He's probably fucking asking Grok. I wouldn't support that decision. That's not the question. Try answering the question, you fucking spineless jelly. If a president of the United States says they want to deport U.S. citizens to a slave labor camp in El Salvador, would you still support that president? Yes or no? Answer the fucking question. Here, it looks like Willy Wonka. Thank you. Appreciate that, Coofs. Dude, these fucking people can't answer the most basic goddamn questions because it immediately makes their beliefs look so fucking farcical. They don't even know what the word farcical means. It makes their beliefs look so fucking stupid that they can't even answer basic yes or no fucking questions. It's absolutely embarrassing. Holy shit, dog. Maybe we say more in-depth stuff, unlike you. Yeah, that's the thing. You guys beat around the bush and you never fucking say what you mean. I say what I mean with my whole ass chest because I have firmly stand in my convictions. I have firmly held beliefs. You guys fucking flip-flop like fish out of water anytime your beliefs are challenged and you can't fucking answer a yes or no question. It's so pathetic. It's so pathetic. Yeah, Chris, we're free thinkers. You can't even spell the word we're. Dude, you've done this every stream. You use where instead of we're because you don't know basic fucking grammar, dipshit. Completely unrelated, but I just said the best hamburger helper ever. Thank God. I'm so fucking proud of you, Sam Thomas. Hell fucking yeah, dog. Hell fucking yeah. You know, Kyle fucking ran away like a little baby back bitch. Which I don't expect anything else from fucking MAGA. Koofs is an outlier. Chris, I'm going to start using spineless jelly now. Thanks. Thank you. You're welcome. Well, I only have two choices on who I support, so I base my decision on a majority of their policies. So no, I don't support deporting U.S. citizens, but I will stand by voting for Trump. Dude, I love how you didn't answer the question. I'm going to try one last time before I just label you as a fucking coward to your soul. If a president of the United States said they wanted to deport United States citizens to a slave labor camp in El Salvador, would you still support that president? Yes or no? The floor is yours. Yeah, dude, you're a coward. You won't answer. Kyle answered, no, he didn't. It's a yes or no question. He won't answer it because he's a fucking coward. Dude, you're a coward. Just answer yes or no. Otherwise, like, I'm just going to move on. Let me help you. My answer is no. No, I would not support that president. Us Republicans don't answer yes or no. We answer how and why. Hey, Koofs, is slavery bad? Oh, so you are capable of answering in yes or no. Great. Let's copy that. All right. Kyle's an ideological coward. He's afraid to fucking say his actual beliefs with his whole ass chest. So there's no point. We'll move on. I'm also not going to be live for too much longer, guys. Oh, it's almost been 3 hours. Yeah, the Supreme Court is in a deadlock right now, trying to block the first religious charter school. If they actually move forward with a religious charter school, this nation is in a handbasket to hell. We're so fucked. We're so fucked, bro. They split 4-4. Oh, jeez. Charter schools, privately run but publicly funded, serve 3.8 million students in the United States, offering an alternative to traditional public schools that are intended to be more innovative and less bound by state regulations. Concept took off in the 1990s, and by the 2023 school year, there were some 8,000 charter schools opening nationwide. Koofs says disobedient avocados. Is that how you talk? Geez, just cook. Oh my God, Koofs is an incel. Oh my God, Koofs is an incel. No wonder you're like this, bro. You've never felt the warmth of a woman? Or a man. Brother, you poor thing. Jesus. Still didn't get the notification. I know, I got my manager asking my guys at YouTube about that. Bro, Koofs is an incel. Ew. Incel. 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 Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. You guys, wait, who was it? Somebody yesterday said, who the fuck was it? They said they would, like, if I had a wife and kids, they would rape them. Who the fuck said that? What was his name? Who the fuck was that? It was yesterday. I forgot who it was. What? You guys don't remember that? I'm pretty sure Jack was here for that. Somebody was here. There were a bunch of you here. There was a whole bunch of people here during that. Yeah, Jack was here. Yeah, he had a Punisher MAGA hat. That's what it was. That's what it was. That's what it was. Sclavi! That's who it was. It was Sclavi. Probably one of Koofs' alts. Sclavi. It was an alt for someone? Yeah, I know. Don't make alts. This is my only account. Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully. Woman. Hey, Koofs. One thing I just want you to say, because I am curious. Will you at least admit, because if I'm trying to put you in a corner here, Koofs. Hear me out, Koofs. Hear me out. Are you going to hear me out? Are you going to hear me out, Koofs? You gonna hear me out? Luigi, shush. Okay, Koofs. Would you agree that if you were making alt accounts to come in here and like make it seem like there's more haters in there or whatever, if you were doing that, can you admit that would be extremely fucking pathetic? I'm not saying you're doing that, but can you admit that if you were to do that, that would be an extremely parasocial, pathetic, and weird thing to do? Yeah, that's pathetic. Okay, good. Because, guys, what we're doing here is now there's a divide where if Koofs is telling the truth, great. I agree, that would be pathetic. But if Koofs is lying, he has to, like, say to himself that he's pathetic. You see what I'm saying? And again, Koofs, I'm not saying that you're doing this, but I'm saying that if you were, you would have just called this hypothetical version of yourself pathetic. So we just covered all bases, right? All bases are covered. Yeah, no, dude, the MAGA rats who use the Punisher, that's so embarrassing, dude. Punisher would fucking hate Trump. I'm inclined to believe it was only because I've seen his name a few times. Yeah, no, I don't actually think that he has alt accounts. Excuse me. Yeah, no, the thin blue line Punisher flag is the funniest one. Media literacy is fucking dead, dog. Yeah, regular literacy is also dead. No. 9. Did he actually say that he wanted to do that to your kids and wife? Yeah, he said 300 years ago, men like him would take my wife and children. Koofs, I hope you understand. I get daily death threats. You know, people leak my address. My mom gets, rape threats. This is what it is like to exist as a political commentator on the left. It's just you deal with some of the most unhinged people on planet Earth. That's not us, MAGA, trust me. No, it is. I've had police investigations conducted. No, it is MAGA. Exclusively, actually. It's all MAGA. That's not up for debate, dude. I've had investigations done. Sorry that happened to you? Oh, it's okay. To exist on the internet is to have haters. And to stand against fascism is to know that fascists will stand against you. So this is something I knew. Yeah, I've had fucking Secret Service called on me. I've had so much shit happen to me simply for practicing my First Amendment rights. Yeah, I always say, judge me by my enemies. And my enemies are fascists, so I must be doing something right. No, I'm allowed to leave my house when Trump comes to New York. He lives in New York. I'm allowed to leave my house. I'm on that same list that Hassan Piker is on. You know, dissidents. I'm considered a dissident. Fun fact, all veterans are on the terrorist watch list. Yep. Hassan needs to collab with you. He would greatly boost your streams on YouTube. Yeah, I know. I love Hassan. I've been subbed to Hassan since 2018 or some shit. No. 9. How do you feel about the no tax on tips passing? Well, it's not actually no tax on tips. If you keep on reading, it's you get a $4,000 deduction on only qualified cash tips up to $25,000. It's so fucking strange. It's so fucking strange. Hassan has covered my videos before. Hassan has watched some of my content. Welcome back, Julian. I am not a communist. And also, communism is not an inherently bad thing, guys. I don't want you guys, because there keeps on being all of these, like, people use communism as a accusation as if it's a bad thing. Communism is not inherently evil. The world is not ready for communism. We probably need 300 or 400 years of advancement before we can do anything similar to that. Communism is where the workers control the means of production. Well, that is part of it, Julian. Yes, that is a part of it, but that is not the end-all, be-all, and that is just what communism is through and through. Still extra money in people's pockets. Now, what's your excuse for no tax on overtime? Yeah, again, I don't think any of that has actually, like, when you keep on saying no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, if you think it's that simple, like you're just not going to pay, you're a fucking idiot. I can't explain that to you. These are extremely long documents that you can read, and there is stipulations, there's qualifications, there is so much detail to this that if you genuinely think it's just no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, you're a fucking dipshit, dude. I can't help you. The fuck? I think communism would be good in a perfect world or something close to it, but not in our world. Capitalism is the est system. I don't think I don't think you could say that any system is the best system when we have like fucking giant amount of starvation and war and everything's fucked and nobody can afford to goddamn live. But yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying. The world is not ready for communism. You would need massive advancements in technology. Karl Marx created the system that gave hope to humanity, but humanity could not implement this beautiful system because of its selfishness. I think Julian's a bot. I don't know. Maybe. It's freaking me out. Keeps shifting. No, Chris, he's a troll? Oh, I don't fucking know. Beep boop. Yeah, no, Nelson, there's no way that Julian is a Koof's alt. Julian has much better grammar. I'm going to end the live, guys. I got shit to do. I'm out of here. Thank you for tuning into the Valenti Videos broadcast. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Tell your friends that I'm a live streamer. Other than that, this is real independent media. I have no funding, so if you want to help the channel financially, there's a couple of ways you could do it. You could become a patron on Patreon. You could become a member on YouTube. You could buy some Valenti Videos merch. You could use a 40% off discount on Ground News Vantage subscription. All of that helps me a lot. Thank you very much to anybody and everybody who has helped out the channel financially. You help pay the bills. You help feed Luigi. You help feed Beans. Other than that, click that Discord invite that Jack put in the chat, and I will catch you on the flip side. Have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.